Hello everyone, welcome to Twitch TV's Gambit Cup, week number 21. First set of the day will be SAS versus LRM, and the two players are Draw versus Cole. Nice, bringing out some of the big guns soon. You know what? Draw and Cole aren't even the big guns on these two respective teams. They're both very talented, but not necessarily the best players. Is that how you capitalize draw? Or is it capital? Oh no, wow. I really got capitalizing draw wrong. Draw versus LRM Cole. And draw is the white Protoss in the bottom left. And Cole will be the orange Zerg in the bottom right. A PvZ matchup on Circuit Breakers. Good map. I'm a fan of Circuit Breakers. Should be fun. This doesn't look quite even. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Alright. So, I'm interested to see how this works out. Because Draw is more of a late game player. He likes to do what he needs to do to get by in the beginning, but if he can get up to a 200 army, at the end of the game, he's doing something right. And he likes to play for that late game, where Cole is the opposite. While he's competent in the late game, he'd really prefer to end it early, if he could. So a little bit of a clash of styles, if you will. Cole, obviously famous for his Mutalisks. Can't quite 2-hatch Mutalisk in ZVP, but he tends to go for the Mutalisk transition after getting 5 hatcheries, and he can have some great success with that, even if an opponent cannons up and gets Corsairs at an appropriate time. Anyway, Draw, it will be scouting out his opponent last. So, there's a probe. Scouting out his opponent last, so forced to throw down the, he's forced to throw down the forge and the cannon without knowing that his opponent was going for 12 hatch. Cole tends to go for 12 hatch every game, but that'd be a really silly way to lose if you just kind of guessed that your opponent was going 12 hatch, and then it turns out they didn't. So, a little bit of unfortunate start of the game for Draw, but he'll certainly be able to work his way back in. This wall is not tight here, and obviously not tight up top. If he blocks it with a Zealot here, though, then the cannon's in such a good position that still a run-by with Zerglings around the top wouldn't be able to get that many in. So, I'm not sure if there's a better wall on this map, because this is just such a big choke. Not many maps have that big of a choke. But for what it's trying to do, it's going to work out pretty well. Meanwhile, Cole only building a second set of Zerglings now and getting his 3rd hatchery. So whether or not the wall would or would not have worked, not going to make a difference in this game. Well. Okay. Lair on the way for Cole, and he already had, and as I said, he has his 3rd hatchery down now, so he's gonna put some nice Sim cities up here and here, get up to his 5 hatches before transitioning into the Mutalisks. Delaying the Mutalisk does give the opponent the chance to get some Corsairs out, but it's almost required to get your 5 hatcheries before going into Mutalisks, just because your economy will be so far behind if you don't. Draw sending out another probe scout. A little bit of an interesting decision there. Going to go and just make sure that Cole is in fact getting down that 3rd base, instead of just waiting for the Corsair scout to do it for him. Meanwhile, Cole dancing around with his Ling, trying to avoid the Zealot. Actually, pretty good micro from Cole there. Just he wants to keep the Zergling live as much as possible, but he doesn't want to leave from the front of the base, and no. Dragoon almost catching that Zergling, but it couldn't quite get that second shot off. Anyway, first Corsair on the way. Getting that second gas now. And ooh, an Overlord hiding down here. Dragoon just barely misses it. And yet again, Draw's going to try to poke in with the Drone Scout. Or at least keep it around here. I think he wants to keep it alive just as long as possible to see if a fourth base is going down or not. Because that'd be the real, that'd be the thing he'd see from there. You would also like to see a SimCity start just to make sure that there's no weird attack coming from Cole. Spire getting close to finishing. And Draw, because he has that Probe Scout, does not need to use the Corsair to scout for itself. He can get this nice early kill. Doesn't need to be fearful of some weird Hydra bus coming in. He already knows that nothing like that's happening. Cole had some nice saturation. At this space, it's okay. But normally it takes the Zerg a little bit longer to get up to that high saturation at his expansions. So while it's not a high saturation overall, for this timing, Cole has a rather nice economy. First two Corsairs moving in. And those Overlords... Nope. Looks like Kikan is going to miss them. These aren't even morphed into Scourge yet. Might have been able to pick off one of them, but just going to head home. So, hatcheries 4 and 5 going down. Put the Evo Chamber, the Hydralisk dead, and then the Spore Colony. The same reason why walling off for Protoss is a little bit hard, this wide choke, means that walling off for Zerg is also going to be a little bit more difficult than normal. Because while this is rather tight, there's just such a huge gap here that it's really not going to slow down many Zealots, and Zealots can even run by and just kind of ignore the Sunken. We'll see if Kid Cannon is able to abuse that a little bit later on. Nice reaction by Draw, pulling the Corsairs away. Even though the cannon should have been able to kill the Scourge, just no reason to not be extra careful with that. And the first DT is out. Gonna pick off 2 Zerglings. And Cole, there we go. Cole's now pulling back with the other Zergling. Pretty good reaction from Cole. He doesn't get the alert for it. He just has to wait for his vision to be reduced there, and then instinctively know that there's a Dark Templar at work. But managing to run away with the last one, just not to lose it. Not like in some games where Zerg players leave a control group of Lings at the front, and then a DT picks off all of them because Zerg just was not paying enough attention. And there's a Mutalisk. And there are a bunch more Mutalisks. So yeah, Cole is going for his for Cole standard ZVP, which is 5-hatch Mutalisk. Which sounds weird, but that's what he does every game. Gets 5 hatcheries and then goes Mutalisks. This is a rather scary force. How is Draw going to deal with it? He doesn't have cannons in his natural yet. He is getting an Archon though. Archon, very good Mutalisk defense if you can get them microed into the correct positions. Can be hard, especially against somebody as experienced as Cole. So we'll have to see how he's able to do. Now, neither Cole or Draw is known as a player with terrible lag issues. And just judging by their APMs, just above 200 and just above 200, I would imagine that there's not a lot of lag, which is going to help out Cole a lot in microing his Mutalisks. Good move by Cole, good move by Draw, forcing Cole to cancel that hatchery with the Dark Templar. In a different, in a different map, the Dark Templar would not have been able to just run by and ignore the SimCity, but because of Circuit Breakers, he had that opportunity. Gonna delay the 4th from Cole for a while. Cole being very patient with his Mutalisks. He has yet to poke in and do any damage with them. They flew back to theoretically deal with the Dark Templar, and then have just kind of been wandering around in the middle of the map. Draw hasn't seen the Mutalisks, so he doesn't exactly know what Cole is up to. But this Scourge sees the army moving out. Now, those 2 Archons mean that the Mutalisks probably are not going to be able to do... Oh! Nice micro on that. First Sayer. He really could have taken a lot more damage from those Scourge, but decent control. Now, moving away, he's not going to be able to defend his base with the Archons, at least. They won't be able to get back in time. He can still use the Corsairs, though. But Cole can't exactly attack. He doesn't have a big Hydralisk army. And does he even have Lurker upgrade yet? No, Lurker upgrade is started, but still has a ways to go. Ooh. Draw is getting greedy. He's moving out his army to try to take a... Oh, so many Scourge hits. Draw really messing up there. I thought I think he thought that he had enough Corsairs to just kill off all the Scourge, but he was wrong. He did not have enough Corsairs. And now the Mutalisks are moving back into the base. They can just attack the Corsairs. Just a little bit of fanning like this means that those Corsairs are going to go down very quickly. Now all he has to do is avoid the Archon. There are no cannons. So or excuse me, there is one cannon. But the Mutalisks should be able to do a lot of damage here. They can come back to attack the third because the Archon has to take such a long time going around. Meanwhile, Draw going for a counterattack. Cole with 5 Sunkens, though. I think that he feared the big choke on this map, too. Countering it with just an insane number of Sunken Colonies. There's no way Draw could smash through that. And now, still doing damage to this Nexus. Did not quite finish it off before the Archon got there, but he'll still have a lot of opportunities to try. Even got +1 Carapace. Ooh, trying to storm the Mutalisk Ball. Gets a little bit of damage on it, but it's going to cost him the High Templar. Meanwhile, Draw's army's coming down. He wants to threaten this base. It does not have as much defense, but it's still pretty well defended. And oh, Zergling's coming in. They managed to snipe the Nexus. This was such a risky play from Draw to go for a very open expansion this early in the game. I think he thought he could get away with it if he could just deal with the Mutalisks, but no, he could not just deal with the Mutalisks. And it is going to cost him. Cole looking in a great position here. He's on 4 bases, very secure, has a strong Mutalisk army with +1 Carapace around the map, while Draw has lost his third, does not have a huge Corsair fleet. He's lost most of it and hasn't been able to really rebuild it. And now going for an attack on the main. This is such a big gap that the Zealots are going to be able to get into a good position pretty quickly. Cole's going to have to pull back his Mutalisk to defend, I think. There we go, now fulling him back. How much damage is going to be doing? The Lurker upgrade is finished, though, so those 4 Lurkers will be enough to defend, even if the Mutalisks don't quite get back in time. Draw does not have any detection here. And now here on the Mutalisks, did not do a whole lot of damage with that attack. He really did not kill many units, and just took out a couple Sunken in the Hydralisk Den. The Hydralisk Den is not a very expensive building to remake. And it builds pretty quickly as well. Oh, whoa. Oh, wow. Cole really making mistakes with the Mutalisk there. Flying over 2 Archons and then into Corsairs before finally turning around. Lucky for him, his Mutalisks were not balled up or he would have lost the entire flock. But it only cost him a couple with good damage on others. Still, pretty bad mistake. Ling streaming in from the top is not going to be able to deal with that many Archons and Zealots. And I'm kind of surprised he's even bothering to go in for attacks. He saw the Lurkers. There's not much he can do. Still an Overlord chilling there. Mutalisk coming back and, ooh, once again, flying into those Corsairs. Now, they do have the 1 armor that does help a lot against Corsairs. So the Corsairs, so it's going to take a while for the Corsairs to whittle them down, but still, it's just free hits. Scourge coming in and Draw, not microing. Okay, only losing 1 Corsair. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. Cole has a Scourge and a Zergling parked over here. This Zergling actually covers both bases because he'd be able to see the probe going up. But just wants to make sure the Draw isn't trying to do anything sneaky and take a hint expansion while he's turtling up, because Cole realizes he'd be able to punish that quite easily, even without real map control. But this is where Draw is going to try to set up his expansion. He did manage to get this one up after the Mutalisks were forced to back off. And here they come. I think the Mutalisks could have stuck around a little bit longer. Those Dragoons do not do a lot of damage at all. But he's just going to choose to pull back. It's fine. No harm done. Double forages for Draw. Draw's a player who loves those upgrades. As I said, he's more of a late game player, and he's currently working on 3-2. So he's just going to have fantastic upgrades. Meanwhile, for Cole, he has the 1 Carapace upgrade for air, and then 1-1 for Zerglings. No ranged attack, interestingly. He really hasn't had many Hydralisks this game and just has been using the Lurkers defensively. So he might just skip ranged attack altogether in this game if he wants to go for a Ultraling Defiler late game composition. And nice job sniping that probe, preventing it from getting the Nexus down. He also saw these Zealots moving out, so he knows that an attack is possibly coming. It looks like Draw is trying to muster his units together. Just hiding them back here. And ooh, that's what he's doing. 8 makes us for easy. It's easy for that shuttle to lift him up, but he has to be careful of these Scourge. He's getting awfully close. Nope. Dropping him in the right spot. Meanwhile, Mutalisk's out in the middle of the map. Draw keeping his Corsairs a little bit closer to the Archons this time around. And still trying to do good defense. Meanwhile, here come the Corsairs. Probably should target something else other than the Extractor. There we go. Now starting to fight the Zerglings. He didn't bring all of the Zealots in initially, which is a little bit surprising. So these Zerglings are actually going to be able to clean up most of the initial ones. There's a Nidus Canal here, so Cole should be able to rally in reinforcements. He doesn't even need to. The Mutalisks come back to deal with it. Meanwhile, though, Draw going for yet another attack on the front, this time with a much bigger army and observers, so there's a good chance he can get in. That is a lot of Lurkers, but they're pretty clumped up. A couple storms here and here can take out a lot of those, but no, it doesn't even look like he's not going to do it yet. He realizes with his goon range, he can just sit back and wait. There's not a lot that Cole can do to prevent that without Swarm or without huge Zergling numbers. So, going to be able to take out the hatchery, going to be able to take out the evolution chamber, nothing upgrading though. Only 1-2 compared to the 2-2, about to be 3-2. How much longer? Yeah, 3-2. So this is a really nice timing for Draw, hitting just after armor finishes and just before attack finishes. So attack's going to be majority of the army. League counterattack trying to prevent that base from going down, but here come the Zealots coming in now. He did not storm the majority of the Lurkers, though, so those Lurkers are going to be able to take out all of the Zealots. And Ultralisk now in the field, but only a single Ultralisk is not going to be enough to deal with it. Storm! Nice storms now. And Guardians coming out from Cole. A little bit of a surprising decision switching into Guardians. Cole has been a player who's gone Guardians in the past, and we've seen him use it quite effectively. But Guardians using to guard things? Who ever heard of that? Guardians are purely offensive units. Anyway, Cole is going to be able to just barely hold that off. Lost a lot of his front, but no damage to the drones, no damage to the tech structures, and that's what really matters. And now he has Ultralisks. There's also Defiler Mount. Have not seen any Defilers out on the field yet. Ah, there's the first Defiler. Ultra Defiler Guardian. Pretty good stuff. So, these cannons should be able to warp in time, and with, excuse me, and without Defiler support, Cole should be able to, not take out this base quite. No, doesn't catch the probe transfer. Very lucky probes there. Looks like Cole's trying to take a 5th, take that mineral only. I don't know if the Zealot quite saw it. What are the upgrades for the Ultralisks looking like? 2-4, okay. Pretty good. Is he working on more? Yes, about to have that 5 armor. The armor for the Ultralisks really helps making the Zealots kind of moot. Once they have that 5 armor, it's -10 from the Zealot attacks. And then the Zealots just kind of tickle them. Actually, no, when they have 5 armor, it's -12. Excuse me. DT, preventing that expo from going down. Very nice. There's not an Overlord coming over here, though. There we go. That DT, completely surrounded by Ultralisks, Mutalisks overhead. Pretty hard situation to get yourself out of. Not where you want to be. Draw moving out to the middle of the map once again. And this is where Draw starts to feel a little bit more comfortable. It's not necessarily good to be that far down on bases, but at the same time, he does have 5 bases. He is essentially maxed, and he does have great upgrades. So despite the fact that Cole has far more bases than him, it's still feeling pretty okay for Protoss. And wait, what? Why? Why do you have Devourers? I am so confused. Really? Why do you have Devourers? Is it a misclick again? I know Cole's done that before, where he's had games where he accidentally hits on the Devourer key instead of the Guardian key. But did he really make that mistake again? Are the Guardians there to try to snipe observers? Because that'd be pretty sick if they were. If you had the Guardians in their they shoot the Corsairs, but then they splash the observers, and when they have the purple goo on them, it makes the observers visible. And then with 25 attack, the Devourers could actually snipe them pretty effectively. Man, I hope that that's what it was for, and it wasn't just a mistake, because that would be really cool. Looks like he sniped Devour. Nice. Or just sniped a Defiler. The other Hive Tech unit that starts with a D. Anyway, one Zergling. Probably going to be able to take out all of these cannons. Kind of sadly. Because Zerglings are way too good. Oh no, if he had gone for these ones first, he might have been able to. But here come the Ultralisks to take care of that base. So, Cole, though, going to lose these 2 Defilers. That hurts. I'm not sure if Draw's army is big enough to deal with that many Ultralisks, though. Cole does not have an Overlord, though. And there's the Overlord. Okay. There were like 3 DTs. Might have been able to do something, but no. Well, able to do a good amount of damage, actually. Actually, able to kill all the Ultralisks. I'm surprised. Those Archons and DTs do a lot of damage, especially with +3 upgrades. Cole's still going to try to expand here. Well, while it's okay for Draw to be behind on bases, he really cannot afford for Cole to have 3/4 of the map. And he would have just about 3/4 of the map if he was able to take the top right there. Anyway, Cole going for some trademark Cole Guardian Harass. Gonna be cleaned up by air units, as all Guardian Harass is. Well, this is gonna be a very difficult base for Cole to break. There are a lot of cannons here, even adding Reavers. Adding Reavers to this base as well. So Draw is going to be relatively safe from Cole attacks, but if he's not able to stop this, then it's going to be all for naught. Moving out with Zealots. He now has 3/3 upgrades and even getting shield upgrades. Is he continuing to get shield upgrades is my question. No, he's not. He stopped at 1 for the moment. Observers. Flying right over that army, going to see it all. And Draw tries to go for an attack to take out that expansion, but it's scouted by Cole in time, not going to work. Good storms going down on the Ultralisks. And they're going to retreat back to the safety of this base, even though it is a downhill, which tends to hurt these Expos because the cannons miss a lot. It's just not going to matter. There are so many cannons here, and 2 Reavers. I'm not sure why Draw put the robotics facility this far forward, though. If you'd put it, even if you had to put it all the way back here, I think it might have been a little bit better. I guess it's a hard decision whether you want to put it in the front here or way the hell back there. Very confused Ultralisk. Excuse me. Draw still trying to do damage with these Zealots, just trying to use them in little harass rolls. He's not really wants to confront Cole's huge Ultralisk force, but if he's able to pick off some drones, able to pick off a hatchery like that, then it's going to be worth it. He can start to slow down Cole. Using Zealots on this side again, but Cole is really preventative of letting Draw do any damage to these bases on this side. And oh, is that Reavers? Is it Reavers? No, it's not Reavers. It's 4 High Templar. Really, 4 High Templar in the Speed Shuttle? All right. I'm curious to see how you use 4 High Templar in a Speed Shuttle. Plague going down on some Reavers. And, oh! Did not see that coming. Did not think that there was any possibility that Devourers would come and take out that shuttle. It actually, Devour only needs to get 1 or 2 more hits. One more! Oh, not quite. Not quite. I kind of really want to see this Devourer catch the shuttle. Yeah! Got that shuttle! Devour, not a complete waste. More Plagues going down on this base. Really not... Plagues aren't going to help that much here. Yeah, but a little bit. So, Draw is just going to morph him into an Archon. Cole didn't actually bother to send anything to deal with the High Templars that got dropped. So, it's going to cost him another, like, 7 or 8 drones. Not that Cole really cares. I mean, he has 3/4 of the map, so... One base, losing all of his drones. Not the worst thing in the world. I wonder how many kills this Archon's gonna get up to, though. 22, 24, 26... And he's splashing both of them right now, so he's gonna get the Overlord kill, too. This Archon's actually doing a lot of damage. And he should probably go... He's gonna be able to get both of those. Wow. He's actually gonna let the... And he's gonna get 2 Mutalisks! And he can still take out the hatchery! Oh man, 31 kill Archon. Did not quite get the hatchery though. Needed 3 more shots. Quite amusing. A little bit of engagement on this side. Cole not with his full army, so Draw can put the pressure on a little bit. There's quite a scary force of Ultralisks, along with a good amount of accompanying units. But, oh, wow. That, oh, Plague! Some good Plague, and here comes the Devour! Devour, aka the Shuttle Sniper! It's so good at sniping shuttles! It's not, it's actually really bad at sniping shuttles. Anyway, this is a very strong attack coming down on this base. He might actually be able to take him out. Oh, Cole does have a lot of stuff, though. Storms going down for Draw. There actually have not been that many storms this game, surprisingly. Draw has not... just hasn't been using his army in that kind of way that would promote a lot of storm usage. Anyway, Cole is going to be able to clean this up. But before that happens, a little bit of Reaver harassing the main. These are luxury shuttles for these Reavers. Oh, no. Abandoning the luxury shuttle idea. It's like you can't have 2 Reavers in one shuttle. That's too crowded. You gotta have separate shuttles for your 2 Reavers. At least it was for a little while. But then Draw got all economical on me and put them both in one. Lame. Another attack taking out this base. Draw is all... Oh, losing his Reaver shuttle though. That's unfortunate. Cole with another Guardian attack. This one's gonna work out very well though. Guardians are kind of stupid and sometimes run into cannon fire, but it doesn't matter because he has so many of them. He's just going to be able to clean everything up. Where is Draw's army to help defend against the Guardians? I do not know. There are Corsairs here, but they're not killing the Guardians fast enough. Guardians have 3 armor. Those Corsairs never got their +1. So now with the majority of the cannons gone and the Reavers gone, a couple of swarms and some Ultralists coming in to take care of the rest of the base. So Draw is going to lose that expansion, and actually Draw needs to start worrying about running out of money Because after losing that expansion, this is his only mining base, and it has so little left. Draw is actually going to be out. He does have 6k stored, though. It's not of the utmost importance. Excuse me. It's not of the utmost importance to get a base immediately, but you got to start really, really worrying at this point. Because there's only 500 minerals there. And Cole has lots and lots of guardians. A very scary number of guardians. I did not even know it was possible to have a number of guardians that would make guardians seem scary. But Cole has scary guardians. This Defiler being a champ and blocking that Scarab, actually causing it to dud. What a boss, man. Oh. It's like he's like a guy in a cheesy medieval movie who like catches the arrow with his bare hand. That's what he did with that Scarab. Just like caught the Scarab and then crushed it and didn't do damage to himself somehow. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's Brood War, man. Doesn't have to. Draw, continuing with a small harass, taking out yet another expansion of Cole, but taking out these expansions one by one just is not hurting Cole, because he has... Actually, he's starting to mine out a little bit. He still has this one, though, and this one, and trying to remake that one, and this one, so not the worst thing in the world to lose this. Draw, though, does want to take it for himself. That might be the easiest place to take an expansion, and really more Devours?! You made more Devours? Maybe they weren't a mistake. Maybe he really did intentionally make Devours all these times. Why, I have no clue at all. But I mean, look how slow that Corsair fires. Oh man. I still have no idea why the hell you're making Devours. They're just not good. Like, not even a little. DT harass, trying to stop this expansion from going down yet again. Looks like he was able to take out this one. This constant harass. Just Draw has been all over the map on this game. I have just not stopped the camera from moving for more than 3 seconds, and yet I'm still missing a good majority of his attacks. Just little drops here and there, little zealot counterattacks, and it's slowing Cole down. Cole is actually at 120 supply, despite having so many bases. But Cole has so many bases. 3 more zealots coming in this direction. Will they be able to snipe the hatchery? Will they be able to snipe the hatchery? Nope, they're not going to be able to snipe the hatchery. This base looking pretty sound. Draw was not able to set up his little cannon formation. Try to give himself an in there. Looks like he's going to try to re-expand to this base, even though it's two-thirds of the way mined out. But he really just does not have an option at this point. He's down to just 1k out of the 6k he had a little while ago. 140 supply compared to Cole, who is keeping his money quite well down for how many bases he's been on, although he has had to deal with a lot of harass. Is that still lower supply. He has had max upgrades for his Zerglings and Ultras for a while. Decided to get Hydralisk upgrades eventually, but still has not quite finished those off. So, looks like Cole is settling down, though. I think he realizes that he's starting to put the Anaconda grip onto Draw. If he just makes a nice big arc that spans across the majority of the map, constricts Draw, just does not let Draw get beyond those 5 bases, he'll eventually be able to starve him out. While he has plenty of minerals over on his side of the map that he hasn't even re-expanded to yet. I don't think he ever expanded that one. So, he doesn't necessarily need to break any of these bases. He just needs to not let Draw expand. Zealots moving across the map once again. Trying to slow Cole down, but those ones are going to be cut off. Cut off. Dark Templar, though, running by an Overlord. I love this Overlord spread by Cole. I think he's realized how many Dark Templars Draws made this game, has just put Overlords everywhere. Dark Templar still managed to get by, though. The Zerglings do not do that well against moving targets when not being microed. And they're going to try to sneak in again, but nope. 2 Overlords here and an Ultralisk. That should be enough. Meanwhile, Cole, I think that was a mistake. I don't think he meant to actually attack that base with so few units. Dark Templar trying to sneak up into this base's hatcheries, already damaged from an earlier attack. Will the Dark Templar be able to snipe it? Probably not. Probably not. He's trying to move the Dark Templar around? Nah, they're gonna get caught. And draw down to 500 minerals with, I'm gonna say, average of 350 a patch. I think it's like an average of 350 a patch. So 728, just under 3,000 minerals there. Plus how much he has. He's really not looking too good on the economic front. How is Kid Canada, aka Draw, going to be able to turn this around? Does have a pretty good sized army. There are a lot of really expensive units in there. He's at the point in the game where he can just start making a lot of Archons instead of more mineral costly units. And I mean, 3,000 minerals worth of Archons is way too many Archons. Plague going down, turning those into Dark Archons, but unsuccessful Plague overall. And Draw is going to load up, trying to do more harass. It is going to be scouted though, as Cole does have a very large arc. So, we'll see if he can properly respond. I don't know if he still even has Scourge anymore. He has a couple of Scourge. And, oh, he has Devours! Devour's gonna shut down that Speed Shuttle. Not really, Speed Shuttle's way faster than Devours. I'm pretty sure a Slow Shuttle's faster than Devours. And Storm going down on the drones. Nice harass, but he does! He catches the shuttle with the Devours. That's a 4-kill Devour! I don't know how many of those were kills when it was Mutalisks, though, so it's kind of less impressive, but still. Using them Devours to shut down the shuttle. I wonder if Cole's like, I know the Devours slow down units, so I hope that if I use them on the speed shuttles will actually go slower. But it doesn't work like that. It just slows down their attack, not actually not their actual speed. I still have no idea why you have Devours. God damn it, man. I need Bakuryu to come and tell me why Cole's making Devours. It's too many to be a mistake. There has to be a reason. It's too late in the game for it even to be my super awesome observer sniping strategy. So I really just do not know why. Maybe he made one accidental really big batch and then we've just seen it piecemeal. Anyway, both players have almost managed to remax their armies. And Draw starting to poke out. Gonna be able to take out some of Cole's units as Cole is rather fragmented. And that is a pretty small army. But the Defiler's trying to throw down lots of plagues, not getting a whole lot here. It does manage to take out the observers, takes out the shuttle. No lurkers, so the observer is not a huge issue. And here come the Devours! Unfortunately, there are no air units, though, so the Devours doing even less than what they normally do. They can, like, tank storm damage. That's a pretty good use for Devours. Make it so that the storm does less damage to other units, kind of like shield them with their enormous bodies. And Draw is finally going to be forced to GG. Was his final attack. He had no more minerals left mining. And Cole looking really good. Taking game number 1. Good shit. And who's gonna be game number 2? I mean, it's like, that's just Draw. on nearly any other team, Draw would be the best player, but it's Sass, so he's like the 10th best player. Because it's motherfucking Sass. And for number 2, we got Sass Zaraki. So, Sass Zaraki. Is that how you capitalize Zaraki? Oh, it is. But there's a dash at the end. Because he caught Awa symptom and has a little growth on his name. And in the top left, we have LRM Cole, who I did not need to change the name of, I need to change the color of. So, ZVZ on Gladiator. You know what I recently discovered? I was watching late night anime on Adult Swim. And it changed to Bleach. And then I found out that Zaraki is an anime character. That the Spanish StarCraft player just took an anime character's name. And I was like, what? I did not know this. And that's the second person who I found out later that they're actually an anime name. Because I found out that Bakuryu is an anime name. And when I found out he was an anime name, I was like, what? And now I wonder how many other people are actually anime names. Is Mazur an anime name? Is Cole an anime name? Is Eon Zerg an anime name? Probably not, but I don't know, man. I don't watch enough anime to be able to say definitively that Eon Zerg is not an anime character. So, Zaraki went for the 9 pool, has his first lings on the way. Unfortunately, he's not going to scout out his opponent, so he's going to have to guess with the lings. And Cole went for a 12 pool. Ooh, yeah, he went for a 12 pool. So he's going to have his lings out on time anyway. Cole with a pretty good build order advantage here. Lings are moving out. Zaraki will probably scout cross, because that is the normal thing to do. Although sometimes players like to send one Zergling down. But nope, Zaraki's going to commit everything to scouting cross, and he's going to be correct in his guess. But the issue is that Cole's lings are already out. And Cole will probably pull a drone or two just to be extra safe. Just to make sure that these lings are not able to do anything. And we're going to have to see if Zaraki can do some damage with the Mutalisks. Because I don't think he's going to be able to have enough lings. I mean, he's bringing in another 6, I believe. And Cole's aren't quite done yet. So he has a little bit of opportunity to try to do something here. I'm surprised that Cole has not pulled the drones yet. I think he could really use them in this fight. If Zaraki was to make an arc here and just leave 2 lings back to attack the hatchery... Wait, is Cole actually going to let it go down? Is Cole actually going to lose the hatchery? He didn't pull any drones, so he's going to lose that engagement horribly. And his hatchery's only at 300 health, 200 health, 100 health, and he loses his hatchery. He now pulls a drone way the hell too late. Oh, Cole! Cole had the best opening he possibly could against 9 pool, and he threw it away. He threw it all away. Lair's done for Zaraki. Spire has started, while Cole's lair is significantly behind. And all these Zerglings are attacking the egg. It's not to try to destroy the egg, it's just to try to do a lot of damage as they're going through the popping animation, because they don't have armor when doing that. Would have been able to get a free 2 lings, but Cole chases them out before then. But still, seriously, Cole? Seriously? You're just that cocky? You think you can not pull drones? I'm not sure why Zaraki's pulling back. I mean, Cole's managed to pretty much equalize the ling numbers, but I guess there's no reason not to play safe here. If you just pull back, then you can go, alright, I'm going to force Cole to build a lot of lings and attack, and then when I defend the attack, I have every advantage in the world. I really don't need to try to push the advantage too much here if I don't want to. And it looks like that's what he's doing now. Just defending against the Cole attack. Gonna send Cole running in the other direction. Both players' speeds are done. Goes without saying. And oh, Cole trying to be sneaky, sending a Ling around. But Zaraki sending 2 Lings to chase it, along with the entire rest of his force. Because he really wants that motherfucking Ling dead. First Mutalisks are out for Zaraki. Cole's fire is a little bit... still needs a little bit more to go. And the Mutalisks are halfway done. I think that Cole's actually going to be able to get out Scourge in time for the first Mutalisks. So Zaraki's not going to have a timing window for these Mutalisks. He's only a good advantage other ways, but I thought he'd be able to get the Spire out just in time to do some drone damage. Or at least force Cole to build an evolution chamber, which would have been a real hit to the economy that Cole can't quite afford right now. But Zaraki has a huge number of Lings. Cole does not have a huge number of Lings. And while Cole is devoting everything into Mutalisks right now, if Zaraki can kill off most of the Mutalisks, that's so many Lings that he can just aim move and take out everything. Everything. But Zaraki's not bringing in his Mutalisks. I don't know. Oh, the Mutalisks! They're attacking the Overlord instead of actually helping out in battle here. I think he probably should have been, like, giving the Zerglings more time to attack drones instead of trying to pick off an Overlord. He does supply block Cole. It's nice, I guess. I don't know why I didn't bring his Mutalisks in. Because Cole wouldn't have even been able to micro. Zaraki could have A-moved his Lings, and then Droll would have had to micro his drones back and forth to prevent losing all of them, while simultaneously trying to mute a micro. And Zaraki just had to mute a micro. I really think Zaraki could have won the game right there. I mean, he's still in a really good position. He's probably going to win anyway. But I think he could have won already. So, a lot more Mutalisks. I was wondering if Zaraki had thrown down an extra in-base hatchery just because it seems like he has so many Lings on the field, but no, he didn't. Mutalisk coming up. It is 24 supply compared to 26 for Zaraki. Zaraki with not quite the supply lead I was expecting. Does have a couple Scourge though, and is going to be able to do some economic damage before before Cole's Mutalisk get back here. Cole, good job taking out the Scourge without taking a hit. But now, I don't think it matters that Cole is microing and Zaraki isn't. GG from Cole. Hashtag GG. Apparently Cole is a fan of the Twitters. And Zaraki takes game number 2. So, game number 3, LRM versus SAS. Who will LRM's next player be? It will be LRM's Choosy. Choosy? No E in Choosy. I don't know how to spell. He's also Polish, so however you're supposed to spell Choosy may or may not be the actual correct way of spelling, or correct way to spell his name, because it's Polish, so no one knows how the hell to spell it. Anyway, in the right position, Teal Protoss is Choosy. In the bottom position, the purple Zerg is Zaraki. Yet again, a very good matchup. Zaraki, talented Spanish player. Choosy, a very talented race-picking Polish player. He plays Zerg in most of his matchups, but dodges the mirror and plays PVZ instead of ZVZ. Anyway, Choosy's gonna get the scout off very quickly. Icarus is a map with where the bases are closer to each other than pretty much every other map. Other than some really weird maps like Battle Royale, this is like the map, the regulation map with the closest mains to each other. So we'll have to see how that plays into it. Favors aggression a bit. Anyway, choosy. Is that a 12 pool? I do believe that is a 12 pool. And Zaraki is going to be blocked as Choosy throws down the Manor Pylon. Looks like Zaraki is just going to go and set down the Expo to another base. Is going to go, though, to the natural rather than the third. So it looks like Zaraki is going to be going for less aggressive play. And, ooh, canceling and rebuilding the Manor Pylon. So really going to delay that. Zaraki with a little bit of later links. And only building 2, so actually that Manor Pylon could block it for quite a while if Zaraki wanted to go for a very fast 3-hatch build. And is Choosy going to be able to block it again? Or is he just going to try to walk around? He's doing a pretty good job. I think Zaraki should take away... Nope, okay. I was thinking Zaraki might want to take away one of those lings, because as the lings can also block the expansion, having 4 units all mixing in there makes it really hard for the drone to find a spot to lay it down. It's a little bit easier when there's only one pursuer. Anyway, Zaraki finally able to get the hatchery started, and Choozy's going to continue to be annoying with that probe. Anyway, Choosy, good wall. Tight, small gap. Good stuff. And he's a bit late with his cyber core. This is something the Protossers really want to throw down, like, immediately. I don't know why he's delaying so long. Is he, like, scouting out just to make sure that there's not more links? No, there it is. But it was like 150 minerals late. That's actually going to delay the Corsair quite a bit. Oh well. Lair started for Zaraki. So, 3-hatch lair, standard build. We'll have to see whether... we'll have to see if he goes for some Mutalisk stuff like Cole did, if he's just going to play the normal Hydralisk style. And the Stargate does go down for Choosy, but he had 50 gas when throwing it down, so the Stargate was quite a bit delayed. Butterfly effect, man. If he gets that Corsair out a bit later, then he might not be able to get out... Excuse me, if he gets that Corsair out a little bit later, he might not be able to get that one Overlord kill. Then Zaraki doesn't have to spend as much money, and then he has a slightly bigger army, and then you win a battle and you have slightly more than you would going into the next battle, so you win by an even bigger margin, and then an even bigger margin, and an even bigger margin, and it could be the entire reason Choosy loses this game. That's entirely possible. So, Zaraki finished link speed. It was a little bit surprising considering how few links he had at the start of the game, but he's now building up a fair number of them. This would be a pretty late run-by attempt, but not completely impossible. Choosy does have a lot of zealots, though. He only built 1 cannon. Zaraki does love his Ling run-bys. I think he's going to have a really hard time getting by 4 zealots, though. Anyway, Corsair working on the first Overlord. Spire is done. Are there Scourge on the way? Yep. Scourge on the way. I don't think they're going to be quite in time to save that Overlord, but they should be able to prevent a second Overlord kill. And gonna start on that Overlord. Will the Scourge be able to get in there? Oh, Choosy making a mistake, losing the Corsair. The other one's just gonna pull back. Alright. So speed's about halfway done, +1 about 60 or 70% done. So Choozy's going to have an opportunity to do the standard timing attack. Zaraki's SimCity's looking pretty good though. This looks rather tight. Over on this side also looks rather tight. Doesn't have the biggest defenses in the world there, but shouldn't be too much. And ooh, Zaraki very quick with your action. He was moving his Lings after only a single kill. Does lose another one though, but still only losing 2 Lings to the first DT. Nice job by him. And wow, keeping Scourge parked there. Wants to hit that shuttle that could theoretically be coming. And Cheese is actually going to scout out the third. He really does. I guess, despite how good of scouting that probe was in the main, which would lead you to believe he had really good scouting, it actually does not help you see this expansion up here. So Choosy knew that there was a third expansion, but he just did not know where it was. Now going to come into this base, nothing doing. No Corsair support, so the Overlord should be able to see him. Oh, never mind. That's... Zaraki tried to get a little bit too perfect with his defenses. The absolute minimum possible, and is going to cost him a couple drones. Sunken Colony did not quite reach over there. And here comes Choosy with the timing attack. So, we'll have to see which base he goes for. We'll have to see how successful it is. And Zergling run by. Oh, he could get those High Templar. He could get those. No. Morphed him into an Archon. I don't know if Choosy even wanted to morph those into an Archon, but he was forced to. Now Ling's in the main, but there is a cannon, so not going to be able to get much more than the probe. Coming back to attack the Archon, though. And there's nothing... the Archon finished. I was like, there's nothing protecting the Archon. The Archon could go down. But it turns out the Archon can protect the Archon. Alright. Heading over to the third. +1. Not quite going to finish before this attack hits, but... Actually, it might be an issue. This is going to be a pretty tight defense for Zaraki. I'm not sure if he's quite going to be able to hold it off. The Sunken Colony goes down. The other one's only halfway done, and the Hydralisks are already all dead except for one. Zaraki trying to rally in Hydralisk from the back, but there are 2 Archons and a whole lot of Zealots. I don't even think Zaraki's managed to kill any of these yet. So this is still a very strong force. The other Sunken Colony is going to go down as well. There are a good number of Hydralisks. Oh, Zaraki skipping on the defenses just a little bit too much, and it's going to cost him. But he was able to rally in enough Hydralisks so he won't lose this base. Does cost him a good number of drones, though, and the 2 Sunkens, and a good number of Hydralisks. But not catastrophic. Queen's Nest is down, and the Hive is just starting now. So it's Zaraki with some pretty... with a little bit faster than normal Hive. And Zaraki has a lot of Hydralisks out on the field. He's going to be able to put on some aggression. Bring a couple Overlords here too, just to make sure that there is no... excuse me. That there is no DT pressure. Moving the Hydralisk up, he scouted out with a Zergling here to see that there was something going on in this general direction. But he's sending up his entire Hydralisk force just to take out a pylon. Couldn't quite see that there was no Nexus yet. Would have been worth it if there was one. Anyway. Still stopping the expansion from going down, which is nice. Wants to keep that Protoss on 2 bases for absolutely as long as possible. Is an observatory on the way? No, Choosy has the robotics facility, but no observatory quite yet. There it is. Oh, Choosy sneaking out with a probe, and Zaraki's going to send I'm not sure if all of his Hydralisks were actually chasing that probe. No, it doesn't look like they're all chasing the probe. They're all just kind of generally heading in that direction. He's really going to have a hard time putting on aggression with those Hydralisks. So 3 High Templars, all with enough energy for storms. Not to mention a good composition of Zealots and Goons to support it. I think he's just going to have to sit outside with them. Is he getting Lurker upgrade yet? Lurker upgrade just finishing up after Hive. Defiler Mound halfway done, throwing on an extra Evo Chamber to get those melee upgrades. Alright, so got some patrolling Scourge. Choosy is going to be the one who's going to be able to put on some aggression now. Catching a little bit of his army. Ooh, I have hotkeys. I accidentally hit. Moving out and catching a little bit of Zaraki's army out of position. But now Zaraki is linking up with everything and forcing Choosy to pull back. 5 High Templar. There should be some good storms here, but Zaraki pulling back before he can get one off. Neither player losing too much, although Zaraki throws away a lot of Lings at the end there. And these Lings still managing to pick off the probe, stopping that expansion from going down. Only now Lurkers being incorporated into Zaraki's army. As Choosy moves towards the third, Zaraki has not rebuilt the Sunken Colonies. He's just reliant on the on the Lurkers right now. Where's Choosy's Observer? There's Choosy's Observer. A little bit far behind there. And Zaraki, he's bringing in a lot of Overlords as if he was trying to snipe Observers, but he actually does not have any Scourge over here. And it looks like Choosy's going to be able to take out this base. Zaraki's going to have to bring in a lot of units from the back to try to save it. Some Lurker Ling now coming up. Storm going down, killing off all the Lings though. And one Lurker on its own is not going to be very good. Lots more Lings popping, but that's still not going to be enough either. And it looks like Zaraki is going to lose his third and possibly his fourth as well. There's another hatchery going down there. That's not going to help defend. More Lings being rallied from the back, but I'm not even sure if that's going to be enough. Those are a lot of Cracklings, though. Unupgraded. Storm going down, doing lots of damage, taking out all the Lings once again. Was that a pickup? No, it sounded like an Overlord picked up something. But no. Choosy continuing on into this base now. Zaraki is really hurting here. I don't think he's going to be able to defend this one either. Throwing down a lot of creep colonies, but they're mostly too late. Now canceling that hatchery. I think he realizes there's not much he can do here. As the Sunken Colony goes down. Meanwhile, Choosy expanding, now taking his third and can do it completely safely. The hatchery goes down. The 2 Sunkens do finish, but easily disposed of with no other support. Looks like Zaraki was trying to trap some units here, but not a big enough army. Now Zaraki only on 2 bases, still has yet to use his Hive tech. I don't see any defilers out. He's getting Plague. But he really just does not have enough stuff to get an attack off. Choosy has pretty much wrapped this up. Taking out the last few patches of Lurker Ling around the map. Yeah. Just some extra Lings there, and then some more Lurker Ling to make a final defense at the base. But this 3-1 Army 3 just finished is going to be too much. Taking out the only reinforcements from the back. So this is all Zaraki has to try to defend. Observers coming in to try to, or excuse me, Scourge trying to come in to try to snipe the Observer, but not quite fast enough. Taken out by the Archons. And now lots and lots of eggs that are trying to hatch. Lurker is going to be able to get down. Now, Mutalisks? Mutalisks, I guess. Why the hell not? GG from Zaraki. Choosy bring in the score 2-1 in LRM's favor. So, game number 3 of LRM versus SAS. Or, excuse me, game number 4 of LRM versus SAS. And we have LRM Choosy versus SAS Lockdog. Alright. Alright. So, SAS Lockdog, who also has an AWA-esque growth. He is the yellow Protoss and the bottom right. And we have Choosy as now the purple Zerg. As I said before, Choosy is a race picker, so he only plays Protoss when fighting against Zergs. And since Protoss is not a Zerg, Choosy will not be playing Protoss. So, PvZ on Fighting Spirit. Is that where you put a pylon on Fighting Spirit? I guess you can put a pylon there, but I don't think that's the normal spot people put pylons. This is the 4th 4-player map so far. Alright. I'm cool with 4-player maps. 4-player maps are good. I'm not a fan of 3-player maps. Pretty much, like, all 3-player maps in history, just don't like them. I mean, yeah. I'm not saying they can't have good games. There have been some very good games on Aztec, there have been some very good games on Medusa, but just the maps, not a particular fan of them. So, how the playoff picture looks right now. All the teams that have qualified know they've qualified. There are only 6 teams in the running, and there are 6 playoff spots. So now it's just about seeding. And as for seeding goes, the only spot that is locked is 6th place. Reps will get 6th place no matter what happens. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. They can't fall out of the playoffs, but they can't even get as far as 5th. Certainly not into the 1st or 2nd place, which means you get a 1st round bye. SAS is at 5th place right now, and LRM is 3rd. And both of them have a chance. SAS needs quite a bit of help, but if LRM wins out, then LRM gets, excuse me, then LRM gets in top 2. And that can be said of all of the top 3 teams. If NB wins out, they're in top 2. If GT wins out, they're in top 2. If LRM wins out, they're in top 2. And the reason we can say that is because NB has to play GT. So one of them will not win out. Anyway, if LRM manages to win this week, it's pretty much wrapped up for them. There a lot of kind of weird stuff has to happen for them to not get one of the top 2 spots. Actually, no. Yeah, because they'd have to win, and then the loser of NB GT would have to win next week, and LRM would have to lose next week. And then it'd still come down to point differentials and whatnot. So, Choosy with a lot of lings out now. Did he go 9-pull speed? It's not 9-pull speed, as he has not started speed yet. Actually, wait. No, he has speed. It is 9-pull speed. Okay. I was like, why does he only have 12 gas not going up if he didn't get speed? It's confusing, but no. The lings have got it. So, Lockdog with 4 cannons down and a 3 probe wall to block the ramp. Somebody has been Zergling busted in the... yeah, I'm gonna say Zergling busted. Somebody has been Zergling busted in the past and is very afraid of it. Could that be an overreaction? Yeah. I think he might have been able to get away with 3 cannons and 3 probe wall. But, you know what? He's gonna pull the probe wall away. It's gonna be safe anyway. And Choosy, Alright. So, first PBZ we've seen without a 3-base Spire, because Choosy is a very aggressive Zerg player. So, we're gonna see him with some 3-hatch Hydra action. No lair, and I don't see another hatchery going down. So, Lockdog already on the way to good defense, though. Has 4 cannons. We'll see what he's able to do. Ooh, no. I thought for a second he threw down the Citadel first for the Stargate. Actually, the Stargate builds faster. He might have thrown down... Does the Stargate build faster? I can't remember if one of them builds slightly faster. Anyway, the point is they were thrown down at about the same time. So a little bit faster Citadel than normal. And ooh, now Choosy's getting a lair. So 3-hatch Lurker. I'm guessing it's going to be 3-hatch Lurker. The question is he going to be really aggressive with the 3-hatch Lurker? Or is he just kind of like doing a normal 3-hatch lair build, but with a Hydralisk Den before the lair because he can? Anyway, 4 Zealots coming out, managing to snipe one of the Hydralisks, and actually 4 Zealots should be able to win that battle with no micro from Choosy. Choosy's going to be forced back. Alright, apparently, according to chat, a couple of these cannons are mistakes. Or, no, excuse me, the 4th cannon was a mistake for the Ling run by. I think that he wants to be building these cannons now anyway. And Choosy now throwing down a 4th hatchery. Does he have... He doesn't have the Lurker grade, upgrade on the way. So Choosy is transitioning into pretty standard 3-hatch lair Spire play, but just with a Hydralisk Den beforehand, because Hydralisks are cool and stuff, I guess. Okay. Did he just want to, like, give himself the option of going 3-hatch Hydra? I have a feeling if I knew more about Zerg, I'd have a better idea of what the strategy behind that was. But as for now, it just kind of looks like an option select. Anyway, huge number of speed loss coming out. This is a very strongly timed +1, and because Choosy was a little bit late with everything, he has not finished his SimCity yet. The creep colonies are not going to be able to become Sunkens by the time these Zealots hit. No, because they're hitting right now. So this base is almost certainly gone. Choosy didn't even build many Zealots. Or, excuse me, Choosy didn't build many units to defend against the Zealots. And is now building Mutalisks. But honestly, there's so many Zealots here that they can kind of just ignore the Mutalisks. And kill off everything here anyway. I'm trying to click on the hatchery. Hatchery already below half health. And despite the fact that the Zealots are kind of getting distracted by the Lings, still going to be able to take out the hatchery. So taking out about half the drones before they were able to retreat, and then all the defenses, and then some Lings, and then the hatchery. Now Zealots coming in from the other side. This base is a lot better defended. So Zealots not going to be able to do much here. So Lockdog going to pull back. This is Lockdog's signature strategy. He loves speed lot attacks. Just any time that his Zealots are fast, they are a threat to attack. And he goes after it multiple times a game, and he just and they can do a lot of damage. As we saw, Choosy was not expecting an attack. Ooh. Wasting 4 Scourge on a Corsair, but still got it, so kind of a wash. More Scourge coming in, but there really are just not enough Mutalisks to really deal with the cannons that are warping in. Now an Archon coming in, Choosy just does not have the economy to go into a Mutalisk transition. I really don't understand Choosy's build. Whatever he wanted to do with the build, it's clearly not working out the way he wanted it to. So, what exactly he was going for, I'm not sure. This looks really weird when the Mutalisks do that. When they're like flying all in the same direction, but some of them are like slightly crooked animation and some of them are straight animation. And it makes it look like they have like weird flight patterns. Anyway, Mutalisk coming in, trying to snipe a cannon, but there's a Templar here. He could get back there to storm, but a little bit caught up. There's still cannons that the Mutalisks have to deal with, so it's not even free probe snipes after taking out those two cannons. Lockdog is very defensed up, although he decided to go to the Assimilator, which is the least guarded part of the natural at the moment. Managing to snipe a Templar, that's good. Lockdog has a lot of cannons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then you could or could not count the 4 that have been destroyed already. Well, Mutalisks trying to do a little bit more harass, but Lockdog has a lot of cannons, so it's not going to be terribly effective. Left that Corsair with 12 hits and then started to run away again, as to take maximum damage from it. And, oh, managed to get the Storm off. The Choosy could not snipe it properly, so it's going to cost him actually a good number of Mutalisks. And Archon's going to take out an Overlord. Choosy is supply blocked. Choosy is supply blocked. It's a 67 supply compared to 83 for Lockdog. Choosy has managed to retake this base over here. So he's back on 3 bases at least, but 3 base Zerg still isn't the best economy. Especially for this late. These Mutalisks are now very low on health, so he's going to be careful of a lot of these splash units. Templar coming back to storm, and yeah, he's very low on health. Choosy now doesn't even really have enough Mutalisks to start fighting cannons. I think that's only 3. Yeah, I think that is only 3. +1 attack? Yeah, +1 attack is about halfway done for the Hydralisks. Range is just finishing up. So it looks like Choozy's gonna have a pretty strong Hydralisk army. He already has a good number of them. But Lockdog got Storm Tech really fast. Not to mention this is pretty late in the game. So there's a lot of Storm. Well, if Choosy can Storm Dodge. If Choosy can Storm Dodge. Lockdog's gonna be able to take his third. It's a little bit risky. This is a very large Hydralisk force. The Fighting Spirit has generally an easy third to take. So I think that with enough Zealots on the ramp, the Storm should be able to kill off a lot of these Hydralisks. Although it's not quite in the right... There we go. Now moving into a good position to defend against that attack. Choosy can't scout out the Mutalisks, though. If he realizes that his opponent's army is over here, he could try to go for an attack on the natural, maybe? Possibly. Anyway, a pretty good Mutalisk micro from Choosy, taking out some of these Templar, softening it up before the rest of the units come in. And yeah, Choosy is going to ignore it and go for an attack on the natural, which has a lot of cannons. So it still might not work. But here it goes. Moving in with the Hydralisks, just trying to push forward as fast as possible, but Lockdog's reinforcements coming from the back. And all these Hydras can die. No, Cheesy actually manages to make it out of there with a lot of them. Didn't kill a whole lot of cannons there. Still trying to snipe Templar with these Mutalisks, and gets another one. And another one. Cheesy's gonna lose most of his Mutalisk pack, but it's worth it to get all those Templar kills. Lockdog's actually out of Templar. Surprising for how many Templar he had earlier in the game. Very nice Mutalisk control to do that. Getting something out of them. But Cheesy's going in for a very ill-timed attack now. It's not good when the Dragoons outnumber the Hydralisks. And that's before counting Zealots. Or an Archon. Choosy have lurkers? No, I do not see any lurkers out. He's not researching it. This is going to be a very difficult attack for Choosy to defend. 127 compared to 76. Borderline double supply of Choosy. Also has 2 attack compared to Choosy's single attack. And Choosy, well, Lockdog's army isn't in the best of position to engage. So Choosy can be able to win this fight. Lockdog starts to pull back. And wow, Lockdog's actually pulling back pretty far. I think the Lockdog only needed to regather himself a little bit to be able to win that engagement, but no, he's just going to pull all the way back. It's actually going to cost him a lot of Dragoons on the retreat. And Choosy advancing forward with his Hydralisk, trying to get as much as possible. Snipes the Templar too. I'm not sure that that retreat worked out as well as just fighting Choosy would have been. Maybe. Oh, Choosy coming in for an attack on the natural. Lots of Hydralisks moving in. And sending a couple of them forward to try to get the Templar snipes. Does not get them though. Hydralisk moving down now. I think he wants to try to attack this base from the weaker side. It looks like he's gearing up for it. Clearly a lot of cannons on the left side, not a lot on the right. Although the base is pretty small, so the cannons should be able to defend both sides okayly effectively. Anyway, Hydralisk moving up. There are some defenses at the top, and oh, a double-pronged attack moving in with Hydralisk from the left side as well. And is it going to be enough? It's a lot of cannons. All the Dragoons have died except for... Oh, there are actually a couple of Dragoons left. Zealots coming in from the back, though, and I think the Zealots on the back are going to be enough. And, ooh, he tries to do a Lurker Egg trick and block 2 of them with the ramp, but one of them was so low health that it got killed off anyway. So that attack, not successful. Lockdog will keep his base alive. Although Cheesy does now have Lurkers out. Probably wants to spread them out a little bit more than that. And disappearing Lurker. Pop. There it goes. And hold position Overlord. A little bit of mistake there. And really? Oh man, Lockdog completely whiffing on the storm. Managed to take out those 2 Lurkers with the storm though. Choosy running away with the Lurkers quite smartly. So, Desakwe is gonna try to take another try to take another base, getting up to 4. Meanwhile, Choosy is still only on 3 bases himself. This is going to be quite a late 4th base for the Zerg when and if he ever gets another one. Already on Hive Tech, now starting to get Zergling melee upgrades. He does have a good number of Zerglings with 1-1, but no Defiler support. He doesn't have a Defiler mound, right? No Defiler mound. 131 compared to about 100. What are the upgrades for Protoss looking like? 3 attack. Good stuff. Now +1 armor working on the way. Lockdog did not get a second forge, but he has been constantly upgrading out of the one he had. Didn't lose it in a Hydralisk attack. So that's good. Lockdog seemed to be getting this base up pretty safely. I don't think it's been scouted yet. Choosy has a Mutalisk nearby. And is now moving out with a lot of cracklings. but only cracklings. So a couple of good storm placements could do a lot of damage to that. That Templar isn't quite as far forward as it needs to be. Anyway, this Mutalisk now sees it. The cracklings now definitely know that there's a base here. And Storm going down, hitting more of his own probes and Zerglings. So that was a really unfortunately timed transfer. But here comes the rest of the army. So the cracklings aren't going to be able to do too much. Oh, that unfortunate High Templar. Dude, that High Templar is like me playing every FPS, where I'm like crouched in a position, I'm hiding behind cover, and I'm shooting like my automatic assault rifle or whatever. And then my ally like runs across the screen, runs in front of where I'm shooting, and gets himself killed. And I'm like, that's not my fault. You should be less stupid and not run in front of my bullets. And that's what that High Templar's feeling like. It's like, I casted the storm and then you ran into it. It's not like I casted it on top of you. Your probe should just be less stupid and not run into it like that. That's exactly what that High Templar was thinking. Juicy's rebuilt his Mutalisk force up quite a bit, but that's a lot of cannons. That's too many cannons for even Mutalisk and Cracklings. So he needs some Defilers. There we go, Defiler Mount. We're starting to research Consume. And this is a very scary army for, coming out from Lockdog. Most of Chuzi's army is Lings and Mutalisks. Archons are good versus Lings, and Archons are good versus Mutalisks, especially with 3 attack. So, some Panic Sunk is being thrown down. There's already 3 up there and a lot of Lurkers. This is going to be a pretty hard thing to break, but there's so many units for Lockdog. It's just a matter of exactly how much he's going to lose before breaking it, rather than if he can break it at all. More Lings coming in from the back, taking out all the Lurkers and the Sunken colonies. They're only the ones morphing, and Chuzi didn't even bother to reinforce it. He's just going to let, he's going to bring the Lings back and let the base go down. Meanwhile, he has expanded down here. There are a lot of Lurkers defending that one, but 3-base Zerg versus 4-base Protoss is a pretty bad position to be in, and he's even going to lose his Defiler Mount. Does he at least have a Defiler out on the field? Okay, he does have some Defilers out on the field. Good, and Consume did finish. So this should be good enough until he can rebuild the Defiler Mount, but he's going to have to do a lot with this Ling counterattack. There are a lot of Lings and not a lot of Defilers. Why do you not have Defilers? Oh man, it pains me every time I see a Zerg without Defilers, man. Anyway, coming in with Lings from both sides. There are a lot of cannons though. Lings pretty good versus cannons, but not so good versus Storms. Getting 7 Lings. The Lings are now among the cannons, taking them out so quickly. So quickly. And yes, they do manage to take out all the cannons, so the Lings are able to do a lot of damage here. Will they even be able to take out the Nexus? And no, not quite. Less than 150 health. But here comes Lockdog to attack, and no, Swarm going down. That's going to prevent his attack. But Lockdog's still in a great position, even after he only lost cannons here. He didn't really lose any probes, did not lose the Nexus. Had GG from Chuzi. Lockdog takes game number 4. And ties it up 2-2 in this back and forth series to this point. So, game number 5, LRM versus SAS. Who's up next? We have LRM Pike versus SAS Lockdog. So yet another PvZ. And yet another talented Protoss, or Polish, not Protoss Zerg player. That doesn't make any sense at all. Polish Zerg player. In Pike. In the bottom position we have Lockdog. This is the 3rd game in a row now that the Zerg has been purple. So keeping that color the same. And Lockdog is going to be green. There's green. Now, I think I've said it before. When I see Pike's name, I'm never sure what his name is supposed to be. Option 1, it's a Polish thing, so I should have no clue what it is. Completely possible. Option 2, the Pike, his name is Pike, as in that big long spear that they used in medieval times. That seems reasonable. Option 3, it's pike, as in like the fish, as in something that looks a lot like a trout. Seems a little bit less likely, but also pretty possible. So I always wonder when I see Pike's name, what is he actually referring to? Oh, you know what? No, it's an anime character. Clearly, it's an anime character named Pike. Or it's an anime character named Bobby that is spelled like this in Poland. Because the Polish do not like spelling things like the rest of the world. I think that seems completely reasonable. Yeah, this is clearly an anime character named Bobby. Alright, anyway, first lings are on the way for Pike. Only one of these is a drone though, so it's only going to be 4 lings. Lockdog, keeping a probe around to see it. Unfortunately, he already built 2 cannons. So, already starting off with the mistakes he had from last game in over-cannoning. It's fine though. Certainly won't be able to do any damage. Alright, Nexus on the way. And they gave it in time. So Pike's definitely not going to be able to do anything with the lings. Looks like Pike is setting up... excuse me. Pike getting up his 3rd base. And this is with the turtling style that Zerg can employ. It's why I'm not... It's why I'm inherently against 3-player maps. Just because of the ZVP matchup. Because I think that 4-base Turtle Zerg is so strong on 3-player maps. If you manage to build your SimCity properly, the Protoss doesn't have the option of just expanding to half the map. Because you already have half the map. You already have 2/3 of the map. And they can maybe scrounge up about half, but they're going to be very unsafe bases when you do it. Especially on a map like this, where they're not even going to be gas bases, they're going to be mineral onlys. Makes me feel icky. Talcross is a map where the 3rd is also very exposed. It's just, there is no... This is like the only cover to guard the 3rd, but otherwise it's completely open. Nice big open area connecting the 3rd and the natural. Desakwe, looks like once again he's gonna have enough to throw down the Stargate and the Citadel at about the same time, because that is what Desakwe likes to do. He likes them speed lots. It's kind of his thing. One cell I'm moving out for Lockdog. I'm gonna see if he can poke around a little bit, do some damage over here, and he might be able to get a drone. It looks like he will certainly be able to... Oh, no! Pike! Just barely microing that drone away. Very nice. So, Lockdog's gonna head back. Probably not gonna be able to get any more kills, though, as there are 3 Zerglings on the way, with 2 more hatching. And it looks like Desakwe's trying to micro the Zealot. I'm not sure how much micro you can do against that few of Zerglings. But looks like he's going to lose the Zealot eventually. Anyway, looks like Lockdog couldn't move out again with 2 more Zealots, but Pike has a good number of Lings, so really there's not a lot they can do. Trying to be a little bit fancy with the micro, but fancy micro not going to help out here. First Corsair out though, starts attacking the Overlord. How much longer until Scourge come out is the question. Apparently quite a while. Where's the Spire? Spire just finishing. So that Corsair already has 1 kill. It might be able to get 1 more. Depending on how long it takes him to build a Scourge here. Build a Scourge here. Okay. Looks like he's going to be able to get 2 Overlord kills. Nice, nice. And the first DT is out. He did scout out this base, saw that there's no Overlord presence, and if that's not morphed into a sunken into a spore colony, then no detection at all. Scourge moving out, but they're going to be too late. Now, is he going to make these 1-in-1? He has to be able to defend against the Dark Templar. But he's not making either of them into anything, so this Dark Templar could do damage. Now Sunken Colony and Spore Colony. And ooh, Pike, without even a single unit dying, pulls the drones back. He saw the shimmer. But the DT is focusing down the Spore Colony. And not quite going to be able to get it down. Overlord pops anyway. Is able to take out 2 drones though. And almost takes out the Spore Colony. So, not really worth it, but not bad. Speed getting close to finished, and +1 is 2, I assume? Yes, it is. How many Zealots does he have left? Not a lot. That is the problem with going for early Zealot aggression like that. It takes away 3 or 4 Zealots from what would be your attack. But Lockdog has a lot of gateways. He already has 3 in his natural, which is kind of an odd place. So he should be able to get out, once again, a very strong number of Zealots and go for a stronger than normal timing attack. We'll see if Pike is as susceptible as Choosy was. Pike building 2 creep colonies preemptively in his base. Very fearful of DT drop or Zealot drop or something. Looks like DT drop, making 1 spore, 1 sunken. Anyway, no indication from Lockdog that he's going for that. Doesn't even have a robo down yet. Has he started one? Doesn't look like it. Corsair's moving out, but losing 1 immediately. He has +1 attack on these Corsairs, so they should be able to defend themselves pretty well against... defend themselves pretty well against Scourge and kill Overlords very quickly. Now, Pike got nice fast lurkers, so his bases should be secure. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't actually expanded to take a 4th yet, as that's typically if you're going to go for lurkers that quickly, you're just doing them defensively, and you should go for that faster expansion if possible. Should be able to take out that gateway, but just the way that Tau Cross is made, he's not going to be able to get in range of that forge. The cannons will be able to hit him. Corsairs coming in, tanking a bunch of shots, but still managed to get the Overlord kill. And those are a couple of free Overlords. Not quite. I just come back. Pike does have Overlord speed, so it should be pretty easy to run away. Still working on that gateway. It sounds like this that you remember how bad lurkers are against buildings. You would think that lurkers should be able to hit buildings multiple times. Because, like, clearly multiple spikes are hitting this gateway. Can't the lurker attack be like 40 for buildings? It just makes more sense. Anyway, gateway goes down. Still not able to do a whole lot behind that, though. He does not have a terribly strong army in front. And Lockdog's still trying to get in there with those Corsairs, and ooh, nice storm. A couple Hydralisks. Doesn't hit the Lurker, though. Now hitting the Lurker, but only a Lurker. Probably gonna spread out his Lurkers a little bit better now. So, Pike seems to be transitioning into a pretty macro-y army. He hasn't gotten to Hive Tech, which is a little bit surprising, but is now getting that 4th hatchery rather late and starting to pump out a really good number of units, committing to this contain. Lockdog trying to break out of it. But here comes Pike. Oh no. Pike just still does not have as many units as he could at this point. So, going in for an attack really isn't going to work. He's going to have opportunities for attack if he waits a little bit. Meanwhile, Lockdog really needs to think about how he's going to break out of this, because he's starting to run kind of low on minerals. Just a little bit. Nice storm, killing off Lurker and some Hydralisks. But every time he kills off a few units, Pike's able to replace them with a few more. Pike still, he just doesn't have a very large army, but he has enough that he's always able to get really nice arcs, preventing Lockdog from using his superior size to just break out. But now this time, Lockdog might have been able to get far enough. He's pushing pretty far forward, even bringing a probe for fun. And yeah, Pike's going to be forced to retreat. So Lockdog has broken out. It's going to be hard for him to take a 3rd because of, as I said, how open the 3rd is, but we'll see. Finding a Zergling. Anybody else ever find it weird? Like, well, the Zergling bug's gone now. But anybody else find it weird how, like, everything has the same death animation? I mean, it's pretty obvious why, technically, why it was necessary to have everything die in the same way. But it just seems kind of weird. Like, when you have a Marine, and you shoot it with a Dragoon shot, it's like, okay, seems like a reasonable thing for it to explode. But then, like, when a Marine dies to a Zealot, like, did the Zealot punch the Marine so hard that the Marine literally blew up? So there's just a bunch of little fragments? Or like an SCV. The SCV used the fusion cutter to kill a Zergling, and the Zergling exploded. Is the Zergling filled with methane? Is that how that worked? No. Lockdog with a rather goon-heavy army for this stage. No... there is one High Templar. But only a single High Templar, which is a little bit worrying for Pike, who has a lot of hatcheries and can get out a lot of Zergling and Hydralisk. You really want those High Templar to deal with them. He might just have enough stuff to win some engagements at first, but he won't be able to win the War of Attrition with that push. Has Pike... yes, Pike now does have a Hive. And cracklings have just started, but it won't be finished for a while. Pike getting +1 armor, interestingly. Stopping that expansion from going down, but he has bigger things to worry about now. Trying to stop this attack. Oh, there are a lot of Lurkers here, though. I think the Lurkers are going to be enough. Storm going down, some pretty good storms. But yeah, those Lurkers were just too spread out and in too good of a position. And as soon as Pike had brought in army from behind, all the Zerglings, it just would have been the death of it. Because he only had one Templar. I don't know why he only had one Templar. Where's the Defiler Mound? Ooh, oops. DT drop. Damn it. Alright. So, this is pretty much the only option if you... There are two options on how to secure this base. The first is to just build a lot of cannons, which is the way Misakwe is going. The other way is to just have such a big army that you really have map control. It can stop the Zerg from getting off attacks, but even then it's still so hard to stop a control group or a control group and a half of speedlings from running in. So this is the safest option, although it starts to cost a lot. I mean, considering that 3 cannons cost more than a Nexus. So this is like 3 Nexi worth of minerals. Huh. Arbiter Tribunal. Intriguing. For stasis or for recall? Misakwe does like his recalls, but at the same time, a lot of Protoss players who get Arbiter Tribunals nowadays is just for the stasis. Although there aren't a lot of Protoss players who get Arbiter Tribunals in this matchup. That's a really rare thing to be seen. I want to try to keep this selected as long as possible to see what the first thing he researches is. It could just be for the invisibility. Ultralisk Cavern. Well, first Arbiter's on the way, and he hasn't started a research yet. Arbiter does take longer to build than any of the, ooh, there we go. Getting a recall. Alright. Alright, let's see it. Let's see your recall. I mean, dropping in a control group of Zealots is like almost as good as a recall. Anyway, Zealots coming in, they're going to be able to do a lot of damage. Is that the second Defiler mount? No, that wasn't the second Defiler mount. That was the first one. Anyway, Defiler Mound goes down, Sunken Colony goes down, Spawning Pool goes down. He did not stop the +2 attack, I want to say. Yeah, +2 attack from finishing. But there are so many Zealots here, they're still going to be able to clean up the Zerglings. He might be able to take out some other buildings here. Now focusing on the Extractor, not the right building to be attacking here. Defiler coming in, but that's not going to do anything against the units. He has more Zerglings, that might be enough. Yeah. It's going to be enough to finish it off. It doesn't look like we'll get the Evolution Chamber either. But he did kill the Defiler Mount with the Spawning Pool, so that's a good move. Has he already started rebuilding them? Yep, Spawning Pool on the way. And Defiler Mound might be somewhere. Or not, no. Hasn't started Defiler Mound yet. Looks like the Arbiter has finished. Where's the Arbiter? There's no Arbiter making. Where's the Arbiter? Seriously, I'm really confused now. I'm trying to look on the mini-map because dark green is kind of hard to see. But I really hope I'm not missing recall right now. Huh. Alright, apparently he canceled the Arbiter. Oh, nope, here it is. I found the Arbiter. With its +1 phase disruptor cannon. Phase disruptor. I don't know why the Dragoon's phase disruptor is so much better than a phase disruptor cannon. Oh, you know what? Okay. The Dragoons have a phase disruptor, and it shoots and whatnot. But the Arbiter has a phase disruption cannon. So the Arbiter doesn't actually like phase disrupt stuff. It's a cannon that shoots phase disruptors. It shoots the weapon that the Dragoons have strapped on their back. It would be better if he just used the weapon, but no, he fires it like a projectile. And that's why it takes so long to reload, too. That explains everything. That explains everything. I have solved the mystery of the Arbiter, everybody. Anyway, lots and lots more cannons going down. Getting a Reaver attack upgrade, which which in my opinion looks a lot like the Plague upgrade, but that's just me. And this Arbiter, it's lurking. It's lurking, and now it's moving. Meanwhile, Pike's moving out with, yet again, a very large army. He has nice upgrades on him. Still no Ultralisks in Corp. Well, there are a couple Ultralisks here, but not with this army. An Ultralisk would be quite effective. Why there are cannons that far forward, I'm not sure. But here we go, recall. Nice recall, a good composition going in. Should be able to easily take out that base. Meanwhile, attack going down from Pike. There are not that many cannons here, so even without that Defiler, there we go. Even without the Defiler casting down a swarm, should be able to get in there. Although that High Templar got a 17 kills with Storm. Very nice. And is Lockdog actually going to be able to defend this? I don't think he could, but maybe. There are still swarms down. The Ultralisk is having a really hard time getting back to the cannon. Now finally does. The Ultralisk already have the armor upgrade. And it looks like those lurkers, they're not taking damage! Oh, now they are. Now they're taking lots of damage. And it looks like no. Everything will be taken out at the expansion except for the Nexus and some pylons. Meanwhile, Lockdog's recall still being successful over here. Able to do some good stuff. And gonna lift in some more units. Oh, darn, never mind. Apparently he will not be able to save the Nexus. Well, you know what? That High Templar will actually recharge energy fast enough to be able to storm down all the other lurkers. It'll be fine. And Crackling's focusing on the Nexus. Oh! Oh! Oh, no! 93 hit points, just barely keeping that alive. Probably will die with the next attack, but maybe not. Meanwhile, attack on this base, even without queuing up 4 Reavers, even without any of those 4 Reavers built, still gonna be able to defend that easily. Pike did not send a lot. Zealot drop in the main once again, but there is a Lurker, so the Lurker's gonna be able to stop them pretty well. Do manage to get some drone kills. This army's still lurking. He's gonna have to recall it out, really, because there's no way he's gonna be able to break through this. Which would be quite funny. And Pike has no reason to take it out. It's actually hurting Lockdog because it's a good amount of supply tied up in doing nothing. Okay, so this is why I don't like 3-player maps. If it was a 4-player map, then Pike had just taken 2 bases, and then the third, and then 2 auxiliary bases, he'd have less than half the map. And Lockdog would have half the map, and then they'd be okay. But because it's a 3-player map, Pike has most of the map, and Lockdog has less than half the map. So Pike's actually in an okay position. And that makes me sad. That's why 3-player maps suck. Anyway, a lot of Ultralisks. Why do you have no swarm? Why do Zergs always attack with no swarm? It's like... Has ZVT taught you nothing? ZVT taught you that swarm is really good. It also works in this matchup too. I know it's not quite as good in this matchup, but it's still really good. Well, that's gonna come down with all of his Ultralisks. Still no swarm though. Still, he'd probably be able to take out all these cannons anyway. Oh, why do you have no swarm? Why do you have no swarm? You lost, like, you literally lost 7 Ultralisks you did not need to because you didn't bring Defilers. Anyway, looks like he did in fact recall that army out onto the 3rd, but that was not a very good place to put it. I think it might have been a panic recall because that's a really odd spot to recall to. Anyway, Probe's still transferring away. Was he able? Yeah, he did take out the Nexus here, and he's gonna be able to take out this Nexus too. So Lockdog reduced to only a single mining base over here at the mineral only. Gonna be pretty hard to take out there. There are 3 Reavers. Well, this base isn't going to go down anytime soon. There are 4 Reavers, they have the attack upgrade, and then way too many cannons to cover with, it'd take like 4 or 5 swarms to cover all this. So this base is pretty safe, but at the same time, Lockdog is only one base, so Pike really doesn't need to worry too much about Lockdog mining from it. As long as he doesn't allow Lockdog to take this base. He's a sneaky Ultralisk here. It's like trying to hide behind the geyser and be a Zergling just to scout for when Protoss expands. But it's not doing a very good job because Ultralisks are big. Well, he will though scout when the Protoss throws down a pylon. He does have a larger vision range than a Zergling. That's an advantage to being big. Next Arbiter. Okay. I assume Pike's managed to get his full upgrades, yeah. Pike's on full upgrades. Lockdog, on the other hand, only got 1 armor. And is halfway to armor 2. Which is a little bit unfortunate. And ooh, that's a Doom Drop. That's a scary Doom Drop. And every Overlord I click on is filled with Ultralisks. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go, Lockdog! Lockdog gets a shuttle! He'll see it with the shuttle, but it's gonna be too late to pull any reinforcements to try to defend! Drop! Oh, the one base he didn't build 50 cannons in, and that's the base Pike attacks. So close. If only Lockdog had built more cannons, then he'd be able to win this. Anyway, his entire main's gonna go down because they're crackling, so everything's dead. And Lockdog pretty much needs to take out the natural and the main with this counterattack, which is a pretty tall order. I mean, half of Pike's army is trapped in Lockdog's main, which is nice. But, you know, even if he does take out these 3 bases, I don't even know. I don't even know if that's enough to say that he has a chance. This is way too much damage. Lockdog has no tech anymore. Oh, wait, no. He has Reaver tech. He has Reaver tech, man. That's all you need. Lockdog's actually not going to go for the natural in the main, as they are mostly mined out. Going to go for the mining expansions rather than the ones with tech in them. Solid choice. But the army is being slowly dwindled away, and that's the real issue here. Swarm going down a little bit too late. Only 1 lurker underneath it. And Ultralisk coming up from behind to be able to clear this up. Unfortunately, there are Hydralisks, so it's not as if the Arbiter is invincible. Arbiter is very invincible. And not even going to be able to take out that hatchery. So, they're... Oh, man. He even brought his Ultralisk just to take out the natural. So, Lockdog's pretty screwed. He's like, quick, throw down cannons while I still have a forge to throw down cannons with. It's fine, man. He's got cannons and reavers. What are you gonna do against cannons and reavers, man? It's fine, man. That's all you need. Cannons and reavers. Cannons and reavers, and you're mining so you can replenish the reavers. You're good. As long as he doesn't build guardians. If he builds guardians, you're fucked. But fingers crossed he doesn't do that. Anyway, here comes the attack. Swarm going down, protecting nothing at all. Again, another swarm really not helping out. Play goes down. Hit a couple Ultralisks, but got the Reaver. Fancy Shuttle Micro. Fancy Shuttle Micro is going to save the base. Quick, rebuild the fort so you can get more cannons, man. Gotta get them cannons. How else are you gonna defend your Reavers? Oh, now getting a gateway. Gateway's good, man. Gateway lets you build a cyber core. The cyber cores are pretty good too. Does have 2 Reavers. He could put the Reaver under the Swarm and just like be protected from the Hydralisks, because Swarm is not immune from helping out your own team. From only helping your team, that's what I meant to say. Alright, come on. It's fine, man. He has a gateway. He has a gateway. Over on this side? Wait, what? Wait, what? What? Why are you building another? You already have the Reaver. Is this so you can simultaneously get Reaver carrying upgrade and shuttle speed? Because only 2 upgrades left you can get from there. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Anyway, this base is gone. Apparently, it's another mistake. All right, all right. I like to assume that everything has a reason. I don't like to just say that's a mistake. It's clearly wrong. There's no way that he could possibly have done that on purpose. Nobody is that stupid. I like to assume that there's a grander strategy behind everything. So, man, I'm trying to help you out. Okay, it is for shuttle speed. It's just that he does not want the shuttle speed with simultaneous Reaver carrying upgrade. And he has 2 gateways, so he can build zealots and stuff. I hope he's about to be supply blocked. Oh, he's about to be even more supply blocked. Got a pylon before that one. It's okay, man. You need to put more pylons anyway to power your cannons. So this is Lockdog's last hope right now. He's a shuttle with 2 Reavers in it, man. It's fine. You can totally take out a 5-base Zerg with a shuttle with 2 Reavers in it. Doesn't matter that he has. Actually, I'm surprised that Pike only has 106 supply. I guess Pike really is mined out, except for this base and this base. But he's not mining from the left one, and he's about to lose all the probes to the right one. So preventing mining. He's preventing mining. Trying to micro Reavers against Hydralisks. It's all gonna be fine, man. And he has speed lot. I said you can never count out a speed lot attack from Desakwe. That includes a point in the game where he has lost all of his gateways. You can never discount the speed lot timing attack. The 33-minute get to up to 5 bases and then lose all of them but 1 and then build lots of Reavers timing attack. It's what he does, man. It's what he does. Lurker drop, except for instead of hiding lurkers here and then dropping them into the main, he's actually taking the lurkers from the main and dropping them out of the main. A little bit of a role reversal there. Likes to mix it up, keep it fresh. You never know where those lurkers are gonna come from. Ooh, play going down on the zealots. Unfortunately, the Lockdog's not mining. He only has 31 minerals. That's enough for 2 more scarabs. And he just built both of them. So, there we go, GG. And Pike, once again, bringing LRM up a game. A game. Alright. Game number 6. SAS versus LRM. Just finished my water. Let's do this. In the top right, we have SAS Skylime. Sky. Oh, not capital Z. That's a lowercase z. He's Hungarian. They don't use capital letters. Except for Ace. He just has a capital A, though. That's why I like Hungarians. Anyway, he's brown. And Pike, breaking the streak of 3 purple Zergs in a row, will now be red. And the map is Jade. TVZ on Jade. Skylime needs to be the anchor for SAS here. He needs to win both games. Excuse me. he needs to win both of these games he needs to win 2 games in a row to take it for SAS, is what I am trying to say. Why is there no ace? Why is there no Zeke? God damn it, man. Show up to your clan wars, people. Alright. So, looks like Pike going for 9 pull? Yeah, 9 pull. Wants to put on some early aggression. We'll see if Skylime is able to defend it. I always found it weird how his name is Skyline, but the Z is pronounced. It's like there are 2 misspellings for it to be Skyline. And only one of them we correct when saying. And I asked him about it one time. And he said, and he did say it's supposed to be pronounced Skylime. Or Skylight. It was either Skylime or Skylight. Both of those seem like things. There are things called skylights. There are things called skylines. There are not things called skylimes, though. That is not a thing. What would a skylime be? Like... It seems like it'd be like a really terrible flavor that they try to sell you on like an airline. Like like if they were giving out popsicles to kids and they wanted all, instead of just having them be called cherry, blueberry, and lemon and lime and grape and whatever, they wanted to put like an acronym in front of it, like Pilot Cherry, Sky Lime, Engine Yellow. So that's where Skylime came from. I'm trying to think of a reason why, what a Skylime could be. Here comes Pike with the attack at 6 Zerglings, but Skylime saw that it was coming with his own scouting SCV, so should be good enough to defend. Alright. Anyway, Pike's not going to be able to do any damage with his 9 pull, so going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage here. Meanwhile, Skylime... That's not... Yeah... He's building a command center now before the next... Excuse me. Before the next... There. Building a command center before the next barracks is what I'm trying to say. I'm now realizing that somebody sent me something on Skype. I hope it wasn't something important. Oh. Okay. That is important, but it was not important when he sent it to me. It is important later. In the future. So, Pike is the creep colony, so if Skylime does decide to go for an early attack, Pike will be more than prepared to defend it. Throwing down another barracks. Alright. Anyway, things are looking pretty good for Skylime so far. Didn't take any damage from from the 9 pool. I think he's only lost his scouting SCV so far. He's going to lose a second one, but still, 2 SCVs is early and isn't an issue. Got his expo down, getting his academy and his barracks. Things are looking pretty good. Meanwhile, Pike, with a slower Mutalisk than normal, is actually already making that into a Sunken, which is a little bit surprising considering that he has Zerglings here to see when his opponent moves out. So there's no reason for him to make that into a Sunken. A little bit disappointing. Alright. Third barracks being set down. Looks like Skyline will not be going for the +1 timing. Getting his stim. I'm not even sure. Yes, he's now moving out. Okay. So he's going to go for the pre-muta timing. And the Mutalisks... Oh, that's not a Spire. That's not a Spire at all. That's a Hydralisk Den. That's the timing for if you thought your opponent was going mech. Does Pike suspect mech? I mean, granted, he hasn't really gotten a scout off inside the base for quite a while, but... Oh man, those Mutalisks are going to be even more delayed, and this attack could do some good damage here. Is Pike going to have enough sunken colonies? He has 3, he's not making any more. But with no Zergling support, I'm not even sure 3 is going to be enough. That's a lot of Marines. Are you making... And you're making Mutalisks. They're not making any Hydralisks. I have to think that Pike assumed that mech was coming, and that's why the Hydralisk Den's there, because he's not using it at all. Mutalisks are on the way, and it looks like Skyline's not going to attack, though. Just gonna sit outside and wait. I guess 4 sunken colonies is a little bit too much to break. Now with the Mutalisks out, it's certainly too late to do anything. I don't know if he could have broken the 3. It would have been close. +1 on the way. Now getting a factory. Meanwhile, Pike's first Mutalisks are out, and Skyline didn't build turrets. Oh no! No turrets! And not even enough Marines for the Mutalisks to care. Kills off the first 3, now 4 more coming, but they're all going to be killed off too. Another batch of Marines actually managing to pick off one of the Mutalisks, which is nice. But still, the Mutalisks can do so much damage here. They've already killed off a lot of SCVs and are now heading into the main. 3 medics? No, not going to go after the medics. Oh, I think he tried to hit that SCV, but accidentally hit a barracks instead. And now, preventing turrets from going down. Skylime! Skylime got greedy! He brought back... It looks like he brought back his M&M force to try to deal with these Mutalisks. But he got so greedy and didn't build any turrets! And now he's paying for it. Ooh, but getting a lot of damage on those Mutalisks on the way out, picking off 2 of them. That's nice. But still, so many SCV kills. So many SCV kills. Skyline expected lurkers. He scanned and he saw the Hydralisk Den, but it was a trick Hydralisk Den. Because Pike was expecting mech, which made Skyline expect lurkers, and then everything went to hell. Mind games, man. So, Skyline now has his Marines back. They're about to have +1, and they do have range and stim, so it should be enough to keep away these Mutalisks pretty well. And wow! Wow, that is some bad Mutalisk micro. That was like 3 turn around, fly in, turn around, fly in, turn around, fly in, turn around. Alright, I am not microing these Mutalisks. Alright. So, Skyline needs to back up. Back up. There we go. He has to be a little bit careful of these lurkers, but really there aren't that many out there. He should be okay as long as he keeps pulling back with his Marines. Does have 2 bunkers down. That's going to be enough to hold off a bust from Pike right about now. Even if the bunkers are exposed, that shouldn't be an issue. How much longer until... Ooh, going for dropship? Going for dropship before science vessel. The siege tank's on the way, and that's going to be the other anti-lurker mechanism. But here comes the attack. Skyline's main force is caught out in the open. He does manage to kill off all the lurkers, though. And most of the Mutalisks, too. So Pike is going to be forced to retreat. Now, dropship almost done. He does have the science facility, which was kind of surprising why he didn't make a science vessel first. But, alright, let's see how much he can do with the dropship. Alright, preventing an expo there, I guess. Pike's still only on 2 bases, though, which is really concerning. Getting another hatchery. Pike really cannot continue on this very much longer. He really needs to get a 3rd base to have any sort of economy at all. And not going for Hive either, just continuing with some Hydra Lurker Mutalisk Ling kind of ragtag composition. I think he's trying to go for a Hydralisk transition now, because he's building way too many for him. He's building way too many Hydralisks than he could make into Lurkers. Or is he? I'm not even sure. It's like really equal part Hydralisk, Zergling, Lurker, and then Mutalisks too. Anyway, it's gonna be enough to kill off that small attack, small force from Skyline. Where'd the dropship go? There's the dropship. So, killing off about 5 drones. That's good. Is he gonna be able to take on the Evo Chamber? He's targeting the Evo Chamber and does not finish it off. There is no Zergling blood there. So, the drop netted 5 drones. It's okay-ish. Pike is now finally setting up an expansion. And is he gonna load up more? No, not quite. But Skyline now has some siege tanks. I assume siege mode's done. I hope siege mode's done. And has a science vessel too. So this is a much scarier push coming out now for Skyline. Man, I don't know why Pike has so many Hydralisks. Hydralisk not very good, especially in small numbers. Well, we'll see. Looks like there's a patrolling slow overlord to try to scout for drops. An attack coming in, siege mode getting up just in time for the majority of this battle, but this is a very nice surround by Skylime. Defense Matrix going down on that first siege tank, but it looks like it's going to be just too much from Pike here. Skylime caught just ever so slightly before he had time to siege up. If he had a siege mode done, that battle could have gone the other way. And Pike's going to make it out with 8 Lurkers. Technically 6 Lurkers, 2 Hydralisks, but it's about to be 8 Lurkers. A very nice attack by Pike, and that takes out a really scary threat for coming out from Skyline. Second starport under construction. Ooh, did he actually get the science vessel? No, he didn't get the science vessel. I was gonna say, he had Hydralisk, so it was possible he got the science vessel, but not quite. Nice stepping forward, picking off a Lurker. And finally taking out the few forces that were down there. So, Pike still only on 3 bases. Skyline still only on 2 bases. Very low eco game so far. It's not that weird. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird for both players to be that low this late into the game. Still no lair for Pike either. Just continuing with his Lurker Ling. No, wait, what? That's the energy upgrade for the science vessel? Is this early? Well, given that he's getting the energy upgrade, I have to assume that he has a radiate, though we haven't seen it yet. We've only seen D-Matrix. Anyway, there's no way these Marines are going to be able to get up that ramp. With or without the science vessel, which is kind of just hanging out here. And there's Scourge. 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 There we go. Coming back, but the Scourge get there too late. And dematrixing the Marine. Ooh, like that micro. Dematrixing that, moving it out of the way so that the Lurkers do not kill most of the Marines off. Very nice. He could have lost his, most of his force. He's still going to end up losing most of his force because he's completely surrounded now, but it was cool at first. So yeah, that was fun. Aw, and the dropship goes down. Skylime, trying to mine up the map with vultures. How many factories does he have? We're going into a factory transition now, getting the armory, getting 2 more factories. But it's not a complete transition, as he still is producing M&M off of his barracks, and it's only 3 factories, which is not enough for a full switch. That's not an on-place hatch. Or, not hatch, but command center. That's not right. And he built the the comm stats, so it's not as if he could lift it off. What? Skylime! Skylime, you gotta put your command center right spot, man. Alright, good irradiates. And he has that energy upgrade, so he'll be able to get off extra irradiates in the future. He only has 1 irradiate left, though. Pike, now finally getting a hive. And I guess he should be pretty reluctant to get that hive because it was only on 3 bases, which can sometimes be difficult to justify. He should probably be attacking that hatchery. I'm not even sure the vultures could see up the cliff, but Pike could certainly see them. So they're gonna go down. Skylime with a small supply lead. And oh! Those Scourge! They turned around! They like passed the vessel to turn back around and didn't kill any of them. Oh, what are you doing? Scourge! Go, Scourge! Okay, everything's going forward. And will they get there in time? No, they're not going to get there in time. All the lurkers are going down. They do get some nice shots off, though, on the Marines. Will it be enough? Actually, it looks like it is going to be enough. There's just too much Zerg stuff behind that. So, Skyline's going to lose his Marine force once again. It's interesting. He threw down more factories, yet this is the second time where he's been in the middle of the map with a big Marine medic science vessel army with no tank or vulture support. Now building more factories, he has lifted off of his barracks. I'm looking for where they went. Okay, yeah, he spread them out a bit. Alright, so we got a mech transition from Skyline. He's got his 3 bases all set up. But is 3 bases going to be enough? If he had 4 bases, I'd feel really good about this mech transition, but still not the best of economies. Well, Pike's only on 4 bases himself, so good spread. Actually, doesn't even lose a Marine there. Only Lurker Blood, and the Hydralisk loses one of them as it runs by. Looks like the barracks is going to go down. So, Defiler Mound finally done. Still no Defilers though. There we go. Okay, Defiler coming out now. Now we have Defilers. That's really gonna help out against Skyline's what has been pure Marine army for a good amount. He's switching into mech though. Lots of shiny siege tanks. Only got +1 attack. Hasn't gotten any upgrades beyond that. Probably wants some more. And is now building supply depots. He's really... I'm not even sure if he's purposely fragmenting out these depots, but they're all really spread out. Mined out in his main, just about mined out in his natural. That patch is gone. And then, like, 500 left over. So, Skyline on a single mining base. However, Pike not putting a lot of pressure over on the top left, so it looks like he's going to be able to expand over here pretty easily. Probably should send some tanks over there. And mines. Alright, getting some nice hits. Alright, pretty good, pretty good. Keeping the Zerg petrified in fear of them mines. Does not want to move. And that is a lot of vultures coming out for Skyline. That's like 2 or 3 control groups worth of vultures for Skyline. Thinks he's playing TVP or something. Anyway, coming down. Lurkers are going to be very effective against the vultures, but with siege tanks following up, Pike's going to be forced to retreat. That is a scary army. Still only has +1 attack. Getting that Defiler though. Ooh, and Pike sniping his own sniping his own Hydralisk to prevent irradiate damage. Oh no! There's no anti-air. Yeah, that's a little bit of a problem with no anti-air. You're gonna lose all your vessels eventually. I'm a little bit surprised that Skyline has so many vultures instead of Goliaths. Goliaths tend to be a little bit more effective in this matchup. To fill the role of vultures, but vultures do have spider mines, and spider mines are pretty good. Meanwhile, this aggression is really pinning back Pike. Skyline's going to be able to expand here and here relatively easily. And, here are the Goliaths. But Pike, on the other hand, needs to be really scared of his expansions now. Oh no! 4 siege tanks. 4 siege tanks just kind of getting lost. And 2 more siege tanks! That's 6 siege tanks he just threw away. That's not good. And I'm gonna lose the science vessel. What's he? He's raiding a Hydralisk. The Hydralisk is actually doing a lot of damage to collateral damage to the units. Well, Skylime does have 50 supply over his Zerg opponent. Skylime does have as many bases over his opponent, as many bases as his opponent. Although Pike does have 1 more mining base because Skylime is mined out. But still, Skylime is looking in a really good position, even if he isn't able to get through the Valley of Death here, or this Valley of Death. Either one. These really are just like horrible, horrible valleys trying to get your units across, or either coming down from here or coming up from here. It's just a bloodbath. So, still no upgrades. He's using all of his money, which is good, but no upgrades has me a little bit concerned. Meanwhile, Pike at, ooh, that's a lot of irradiates. Pike at 3 carapace, and I don't know how many attack upgrades on his melee. I believe it's 2. No, it's only 1. Whatever. When you're mech, you don't need upgrades. Just kill everything. Armor upgrades. That implies that the opponent can hit you before you kill all of their shit while they are out of vision range of your stuff. So, Skyline pushing forward now. Huge number of tanks. The swarm went away. Apparently he deployed that swarm way too early. This is looking like a impossible to defeat force. Why Pike has no Defilers, I'm not sure. Defilers are good. It's coming up from behind, with some units. And it's going to force Skyline back momentarily. Seriously, though. There we go. There's a defiler. I think you could really use some more. Bringing back the force is going to allow him to clean up the counterattack that Pike was preparing. And now he can attack in this direction if he wants to. There's a pretty good-sized army on the high ground, but it's not going to be able to contest anywhere close to as much stuff as Skyline has. So it just melts. It's gone so fast. And now it looks like Pike's going to lose these expos. I'm not sure how he can save them. 190 supply compared to 100. Pretty sure Skyline has this wrapped up. Some crackling coming in from behind, though. Could do some good damage on these SCVs, although I'm not even sure if Pike realizes that there are two other expos over in this direction. Forces the lift, but that's just a lot. That's just a lot. Counterattack coming across the map. Mostly Lings, but a Defiler and an Ultralisk in tow. Even so, it's not going to matter. Pike could take out both of those bases, but Skyline would still be fine. He's taking another Expo here. He's killing off everything that Pike has. And it looks like Pike's gonna, or excuse me, it looks like Skyline's going to pull back with his entire force to try to deal with this counterattack. Might be a little bit of an overreaction, but better safe than sorry, I guess. Once again, D-Matrix on the tank. He's had some really clutch D-Matrix this game. Wait. How did... Something was weird with how that Ultralisk was attacking. Because it had 20 health, and then it took 1 damage, so it was at 19 health, which makes sense, because... Excuse me. It makes sense because sometimes D-Matrix doesn't work quite right. But then it went down to 8. Do Ultralisks have a double attack? I thought it was just a single. I'm gonna have to test that after this cast. I thought Ultralisk only had a double attack. Okay, GG. Pike quits. Skyline tying it up. And this series has gone back and forth the entire way. LRM, SAS, LRM, SAS, LRM, and now SAS. And there is one more game. One game that wasn't even done when I started this cast. I had to be sent it later on. So allow me to save that now. Alright. Into the folder. Moving item. Here we go. Game number 7. LRM versus SAS. Back to circuit breakers. Who will LRM send? Will it be Bakuryu? Will it be Dragon? Will it be their ace, no one? Who is undefeated in Gambit Cup play? It's gonna be Bakuryu. Alright. So, LRM. Bakuryu versus SAS Skyline as the White Terran. Don't know why they wouldn't send no one. That man is a beast. Undefeated, as I said. Got an all kill. He's so Gosu. Bakuryu's pretty good too, I guess. I mean, if no one's not around, I guess Bakuryu's a pretty good replacement for him. But, whatever. Whatever. So now Bakuryu is gonna play the complete opposite of how Pike played that last game. Because Pike tried to just use Lurker Ling and out macro his opponent to death. Or Bakuryu is not going to do that. He's going to go for a very, very calculated build that begins with sending a drone cross scout this early. Somebody's scared of proxies. Anyway, a very, very calculated build that will be him getting defilers as fast as possible. And still barely managing to not die. The question is, can he manage to not die? Seriously, what's up with Bakuryu's scouting patterns? Okay, I understand he's scouting for proxy. That was a really early proxy scout, but whatever. If you're really afraid of it, maybe he's played against Skyline before. But this Overlord, it's not even going to the natural. It's like going to here. I don't know, man. He's gonna find his opponent last. Bakuryu went for a 12 hatch. I guess that's why his scouting patterns are weird. It looks like Bakuryu wanted to get here just in time to see if an SCV was coming out. I didn't realize that was so precisely timed, that his Overlord would be there right when it should be. Anyway, he already knows his opponent's down there anyway, because the drones scouted out both bases. And the Overlord should be able to find a sweet spot where it won't die to the Marine. Even if it can't find one here, it can just retreat back there. So, Overlord doesn't die. Good. Meanwhile, Bakuryu playing games with his drones, just trying to get the SCV away so that he can get that third hatchery down, and gonna pick off the SCV. Nice control. Anyway, he sees Skyline throwing down the early expansion, and he's going to... excuse me. So he knows that he doesn't need to... Whoa, what? What? Okay. Skyline had the eBay building, but then he canceled the eBay and immediately rebuilt it over here. It's not a positioning thing because the eBay can lift. I think that he wanted to get... I think he wanted to cancel the eBay because he should have built the refinery first and wanted money for the refinery. But then by the time that the refinery actually started building, he had enough money for the eBay anyway, so he just restarted construction. Which is just weird. Whatever. Skyline going for +1 timing. Gonna get the very fast +1. Going to get 4 or 5 Raxes. And then going to have lots and lots of Marines. Try to kill off the Protoss before Lurkers come out, if possible. If not, just have a really strong timing attack. Also, the early gas allows you to throw down a faster factory, so makes it easier to switch into mech, if that is your preference. And this Overlord's coming out again. No, needs to back up. There are 2 Marines now. That's twice the killing action. Could a Marine not see it? I think if he brought the Marines over here, he'd still be able to see the Overlord. He'd definitely be able to see the Overlord now. But no. Apparently I said Protoss. Sure, man, why not? Why not? Anyway, Bakuryu's continuing with normal timings. Spire has started. He's throwing down 2 sunken colonies. They're unnecessary because the attack for Skyline isn't really going to be ready for a while. So he certainly could have just not made them. But he's been kind of denied scouting. That's a little bit overcautious on Bakuryu's part. Fourth racks and fifth racks are on the way. +1 is getting pretty close to completion, and Stim is going to be done soon. Meanwhile, Bakuryu's Mutalisks are also going to be done soon. But Skylime, despite getting the faster +1, is still going to be able to get range out in time from when those Mutalisks get there, as what is normal. It's going to be a matter of how many turrets Skylime builds. With 5 Raxes and that +1 Marines, you should be able, the keyword is should, but you should be able to hold off with minimal turret production. But it takes a pretty skilled player and a little bit of luck to always have your Marines in the right position. And sometimes Terran players can fall into a little bit of a trap of not having enough turrets, because their Marine control isn't quite as good as they want it to be. So they get over greedy in not building turrets. Anyway, Scan sees the Mutalisk coming out, and Bakuryu not going to quite kill that Marine. But Bakuryu's going to have everything out in time. There's no way that attack's going to be able to break the front. As I said, this is attack to hit before Lurkers come out, so he should wait a little bit longer before actually attacking. I think it'd be kind of weird if he attacks now. But his Marines are really out of position, and if your Marines are on the other side of the map, okay. At least Skylime is building a lot of turrets, which is good. So, let's see where Bakuryu... Oh, that's not a good place to hold position. Probably shouldn't be hold positioning on top of the Marines. I mean, you're gonna live, but that was a lot of damage taken. And now, flying into Marines. Ah, Bakuryu, what are you doing? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that was a little bit unlucky rather than just bad on his part. I don't think he was expecting the Marines to all be concentrated right there. Anyway, a lot of speedlings out on the map. He might be able to get a surround on these Marines. Yeah, he's going to be able to get a surround. Kill them off. But it's still going to cost him a lot of his Mutalisks. He's down to so few now, with Marines coming from the backside. It's not working out very well for Bakuryu so far. Meanwhile, third base under construction, and Queen's Nest done. So Bakuryu getting that fast hive. He did at least start Lurkers before hive, which is nice. Ooh, this timing is going to be really nice for Skylime, because Bakuryu has just so little army at this point in the game because he wants to get those Defilers out, but the Defilers won't be out in time for this attack, so it's just going to have to rely on very few Lurkers, along with the few Mutalisks that have left over in Speedlings to try to defend it. If Skylime controls this correctly, it could do a lot of damage. Stimming and trying to get into a good position, but taking a lot of damage against these Lurkers and not even hitting them after scanning. So a lot of the Marines are going to go down, and no, they lost vision on the Lurker. There we go. Taking out the last Lurker, but he's lost so many Marines now that he's going to be able to disappearing Lurker. He didn't even bother disappearing Lurker on that one. Does manage to get one, though, and gets the other one. Okay. Okay, so takes out the Lurkers. Not going to quite be enough to take out these Zerglings, though. So close. Only need to take out one more, and then the medic could have kept healing. But that was Skylime's timing attack, and the timing attack should have been a lot stronger than it was. Here comes another about similarly timed timing attack, or similarly sized timing attack. But first two siege tanks are out. It's gonna help. Probably not gonna be able to get over there though before Defilers come. The Defiler mound is at 70% done. Well, here comes the attack. I assume that Skylime has siege mode. Well, he's getting mines now, so we better have siege mode. Once again getting a dropship, but this time a little bit more standardly timed dropship. I wonder what he's going to put in it. And this attack is gearing up to be something very strong. Bakuyu with 6 Sunkens at the front, but 6 Sunkens will not stand up to the siege tanks. And now it's just a waiting game. It's slowly going to whittle down Bakuyu's defenses. Ooh. And it looks like Salam's trying to expand there in between the 2 overlords, but neither of them noticed quite yet. These Lings would easily be able to take that out. Well, there go 3 lurkers, and there go 2 of the Sunkens. There's some Lings coming from the backside, but there are too many Marines here. Those will not do any damage. And finally, the Defilers come out. That's going to put somewhat of an end to this. But Sunkens are still not protected from Swarm, so the siege tanks will be able to pick away at those. Is there a... Yeah, there is a lurker there. They're all targeting at that instead. Not a high enough science puzzle count to really deal with the lurkers at this point. And ooh, man, that base is very saturated for considering that he doesn't have lots of map control at this point. Just an attack from some units up, built over the top base could do a lot of damage to him right now. eBay down there looking for drops. Oh, and there goes the swarm. And I don't know how that shot missed, but there goes the lurkers. Stimming forward now, there's not enough stuff to really defend. Taking out the lurker, taking out the Sunkens, and this is looking really bad for Bakuyu right now. There are Marines and tanks all in the natural. Not a whole lot of units either. And this, every ZVT Bakuyu loses, it looks like this. He has Defilers, but he has no units. Every time Bakuyu loses, it looks exactly like this. Oh, man. Damn it, missed a drop. So, hatchery down. Most of the drones are going to be left alive, and lurkers coming in from the back, getting a nice skewer on those Marines. And actually with a couple of Lings coming from the other side. Gonna be enough to clean up the tanks as well. Ooh, even a lurker there. Good positioning by Bakuyu, getting every last one. But he took a lot of damage from that attack. It's only at 50 supply compared to Terran, who's at 117. Anyway, looks like Salam's going to be getting more upgrades this time around as he started the second armory. +1 almost finished. And the barracks have been lifted off, so this will be the last of the Marine Force made. Going to be mech from here on out. And Baki's still only at 55 supply. Radiate going down on the Defiler. This attack, I don't know how Bakuyu can defend against that. Ugh. Ugh. Well, he rebuilt the stuff that he lost from the drop, at least. I'm not even sure why he rebuilt the evolution chamber. He's not getting upgrades right now. I mentioned twice that there was a drop. Alright. Anyway. Skyrim just has way too much stuff. It's 143 supply compared to 75. Still essentially double Bakuyu supply. And Skyrim again with a lot of vultures. Going to lose a lot of vultures to lurkers, but here come the Marines from the backside. Gonna be able to clean up the rest of them eventually. Bakuyu with no Defilers here. Oh, no Defilers. There's a Defiler consuming drones now, but now there's actually nothing to attack the Marines. Bakuyu's gonna send the drones out, but drones do not do damage under Swarm. They are a ranged unit, technically. The lurkers come down, though, going to be able to clean up the rest of the Marines. Still loses a hatchery, though. Bakuyu, once again, reduced to only 3 hatcheries. And now, no. Looks like Silent wanted to run in, but scared away by the lurkers. I think he could have been able to run in and get some drone kills. Ooh. Looks like a bad mine. Siege tank goes down. Just look at the map. How much white is on the map, how spread out it is, compared to how concentrated red is. It should be the exact opposite of this in a TVZ. Zerg should be spread out all across the map and have scouting on everything. And Terran should be isolated to just a couple bases and trying to hold on against the attack until you have your mech all the way done. I want to say this is unwinnable for Bakuyu. 160 compared to 70 supply. Ugh. 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 Man, Bakuyu. When? Well, lots of siege tanks, vultures coming in. Bakuyu has swarm, but it goes down and doesn't actually cover anything except for that one lurker. So that's still going to be enough to hold off the siege tanks, though. You could just ignore it, but probably not the best of ideas. Could irradiate it. Ugh. Man. Bakuyu. Don't build enough units, man. Trying to go for a vulture attack. Looks like he wanted to run by, but got pretty blocked up there. Going to lose a good chunk of the vultures to lurkers, but... Skylime's supply just keeps steadily increasing, while Bakuyu's is stuck somewhere between 60 and 80. And once again, Skylime is sieging one of Bakuyu's bases. He's actually sieging both of Bakuyu's bases, but just unable to quite get in because of lurkers under swarm. Now trying to use mines to clear out the lurkers. Still can't hit that one. It's just over, but there's nothing that Skylime can do to make progress. Oh shit. He actually killed the lurker. Oh man, he kept trying to run in vultures and then put them under swarm and then target the vulture with the siege tank and hope that it would accidentally hit the lurker. Because siege tank fire sometimes hits units when they're packed together like that, and it eventually worked. That was pretty cool. It would only have worked if he directly targeted the vulture. So that was definitely on purpose. It was not an accident. That's sick. So, Terran's essentially maxed. Bakuyu at 75. Nice plague, hitting a bunch of vultures and a siege tank. The siege tanks have made enough progress forward that they're now in range of the hatchery, so the hatchery is going to go down. Baku building 2 more hatcheries here to continue to rally out units. He's still not really close to mining. Actually, he's getting kind of close to mining out. He's out in his maintenance natural pretty soon. Still has some up there. It looks like Baku has pushed back Skylime at least across the double bridge, giving himself a little bit of breathing room, and taking expansion of the mineral only, but really it's kind of a moot point at this stage. Siege tanks making it up the ramp, and lots of Lings coming out of the Nidus Canal to attack. Not all these tanks are siege mode though. Ling's still pretty good against siege tanks. Siege not quite good enough though. Too many siege tanks. Next wave of Lings though might be enough. Maybe enough. Takes out 2, 3, 4 siege tanks, 5 siege tanks, and yeah, it looks like Baku will be able to just barely clean up that attack. But he did lose the position he had just gained, and now Terran is once again in range of sieging down the natural. And GG. Skylime taking the series for Sass. Very nice play. Alright, and that was only set number 1.